Welcome to World Class Bullshitters, the epitome of pop culture. I'm your host, Jeff Hicks, and with me tonight is the one, the only, Dion Green.
Baby, boys and girls, children of all ages, the excitement never dies down, and I damn sure are going to say some raunchy shit to get you giggling.
That man chuckling in the background is the last standing Samoan Big Rig, Nick Ujail.
Hey, Dion. Truffle butter.
Yeah. Oh, fuck you.
That's for you, buddy. That's for you.
Appreciate it. Appreciate that.
And finally, American Ramrod, Kendo Slice.
So I'll take a moment to appreciate the fact that Roman Reigns did not win the Royal Rumble.
Yeah.
Thank goodness.
I was able to stay off social media all of Sunday, all of Monday until I watched the Rumble. Didn't see a single thing spoiled. I had fun for the first time in a while watching wrestling. So, yeah, Roman Reigns, you suck. You lost. You didn't win. You're not going to the main event of WrestleMania. But Drew McIntyre, holy shit.
Yeah, dude.
Let's go.
I was definitely okay with that.
We're all officially part of the Drew crew from here on out.
Yeah, we will not say an unkind word about that man until he loses the belt to Roman Reigns.
Yeah, then we'll be pissed. But mostly at Roman Reigns and Vince. But mostly Vince.
Yeah. So we do not have any new patrons, but we're going to start out our show slightly different. So there's already a couple hundred of you watching. I know more people are going to be rolling in as the stream goes on. The title of our show is The Channel is Going on Hiatus. And I'm going to tell everybody why. So over the last couple of months, actually the exact same day that I found out about the comic book situation with all the printing errors and stuff like that, I found out my grandma had cancer again. This was the 5th time she's had cancer, and she's beat it 4 other times. She's beaten breast cancer, colon cancer, and 2 types of skin cancer. It's been rough, but she's always been able to pull through. And this time, she did not. So if you're one of my Facebook friends, because I am selective friends with some of the listeners, you guys saw my post early this morning. I woke up to the news, and so I have to go home and I have to take care of a lot of business. So after tonight's show, depending on what's up, we'll do after hours, and then I'm going to be away for a little while. There's not going to be a high council. There's not going to be any kind of videos coming out or anything like that. So I just wanted to let everybody know what's going on so there's no confusion. I'm going to dedicate the episode to my grandma tonight. She was a hell of a lady. She was a World War II veteran. She lived to be 95 and had fun for most of those years. So I just want to let everybody know, if it seems like we, I don't know, got lazy or something crazy happened, this is the exact reason why. And you guys will hear from us at the earliest next Thursday night for the show to come back, episode 205. Guaranteed we will have our Oscar watch party. So we want to, keep it fun. We want to keep it light on the channel. But I just wanted to let everybody know why we're going to be away for a little bit. And you won't be able to contact me on social media or anything like that. So, I just want to let everybody know why we're going dark for the next week. So you guys want to have a show still? Because I do.
Yeah. I mean, after that intro, I think we kind of have to at this point.
Well, I also want to say to people too, like I cope differently. Like I know I got a lot of stuff I have to deal with moving forward for the next week, a minimum, and I want to have fun with you guys. You're my best friends. So tonight is just a fun night for the show. We got a lot of topics to cover. So instead of, dwelling on my personal situation, I just want to, have some fun until I have to get serious with some shit. So you guys ready?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
All right, Dion, I have great news for you.
See, every time you say that shit, you start with some good news, and then it's either tempered with bad news or something that's going to make me specifically depressed. So I tentatively have puckered my butthole for this news right now.
Well, I don't know why you would be upset that Lethal Weapon 5 is in production.
Oh, that news. Well, in that case, you had my curiosity, motherfucker. Now you have my attention.
So,
see, it's not bad news. You were worried.
Yeah, you were tough. Lethal Weapon 5. Dion, I have to say, I was late to the Lethal Weapon party because of, I don't know, reasons. But you always swore that Lethal Weapon was this great franchise. And then, I don't know, 2 or 3 years ago, I sat down on Netflix. I watched all 4 of them, and each one was great. We're talking probably the perfect action franchise because not a single film in the series was bad. I can't say that about Star Wars. I can't say that about James Bond. I can't say that about Beverly Hills Cop. But Lethal Weapon, there is no fat to trim. I like each of the movies. And so the 5th one already was made on It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Agreed.
That's a great episode. Mm-hmm. But you, Dion, the Lethal Weapon guy, what do you think about this news?
I'm still worried. I mean, because Danny Glover is fucking damn near 80. Mel Gibson is Mel Gibson. It'll be very interesting to see what they do. I'm assuming it's going to be a serious take on Police Academy esque. Two old dogs, some shit goes down. They gotta do it one more time. Probably a better version of Bad Boys for Life. If I had
Jeez,
to guess.
don't get me started on that movie, man. You need to go into that, especially the giant plot hole. That's just like,
yes,
the plot itself doesn't make sense. But anyways, go on.
It wasn't like shitty shit bad, but it was 16 fucking years for the sequel was definitely too goddamn long, and it's still Fat Martin Lawrence. That was my other problem. Like, why do we still get Fat Martin Lawrence? You told us that he'd been working out. He ain't been working out. He was working out that fucking hand to mouth movement because he was still pudgy as shit. Then they're old. A few of the jokes were. It literally was the plot to a kung fu movie, to an old kung fu movie. It was ridiculous.
Yeah, it was like some telenovela shit. It was it was weird.
I want to go check it out. I love Bad Boys 1 and 2. I just don't have the time. So
but I mean, story, it's like I said, it's a cool flick, but the story is just it literally is like watching an old kung fu movie. It really is.
Yeah. And like a really bad one that you watch because it's bad kind of thing. Like, you don't watch because it's good. Just a story that happens doesn't make sense in the realm of the other two movies that have happened, and it's just like, what are you doing?
Yeah, and then there's way too much CGI fire. Like, what the fuck? Like, is it that hard to have fire? I don't think it's that hard. We've, as a species, have mastered the art of the fire for the last couple 100,000 years. You think that we could, I don't know, not have to use CGI fire with two old black dudes running around. One of them is pudgy. I know. But
would you classify Will Smith as an old guy now?
I would.
Yeah.
He's 50 now, man. He's 50 plus.
What?
Older, not old.
Not
older.
Dirt old, but he's not where Danny Glover is in the first Lethal Weapon, but he damn sure ain't the young whippersnapper to be, Will Smith in Bad Boys.
Also, the ammo team is kind of fucking annoying.
Super annoying. He's the big guy, and he's like supposed to be awkward, and he keeps trying to play up this whole, I'm the awkward geek guy. And I'm just like, what the fuck is that supposed to be? And then you have like the annoying jock on the team, and he's being an asshole to Will Smith for no reason. Like, the only cool part, he goes, hey Michael, and he's like, hey, she calls me Michael, you can call me Mike. And then he goes, okay, Michael. He's like, oh, you're that one guy. And he goes, there's always one. And then he goes, until there's not. Like, that's the only cool part. The whole cool part of Ammo, just that one interaction. The rest of the time, it's this Cuban chick that Will Smith clearly wants to fuck. We all want him to fuck. We don't get to see him fuck. That was a fucking letdown. Yeah. And then the joke is like they're new, but they're millennials type of humor, and so they all start doing the Bad Boys song like in the trailer, Bad Boys, and it really is just like, this is supposed to be funny. It's not. It was. You guys need to stop.
It was bad.
Well, you need to stop because you're taking away all my hope for Lethal Weapon 5, buddy.
Listen. I don't mean that to roop around and shit on Lethal Weapon 5. I'm just saying, I'm cautiously optimistic. Please, Joel Silver, Richard Donner, get to take this shit seriously, because if you don't, you're gonna end up being Bad Boys for life, and you and all of us deserve fucking better.
Well, Jeff. I mean, you're out in Hollywood now. You need to go. You need to go to where they're, whoever owns the Beverly Hills Cop franchise. Go walk up to the studio and start getting in there and helping them write the shit this way that they don't mess it up.
Dear Paramount Pictures, my name is Jeff. You may not know me, but and then they'll be like, all right, you're the right guy. Oh, speaking of Eddie Murphy shit, there's an ice cream truck that drives through this neighborhood, and it's got, I'll send you the picture right now, and then you guys can freak out on air. It's incredible. It's probably the most beautiful thing I've seen in a while. Dion, you'll like this the most.
Oh, Lord.
God.
Nice.
Oh, that's wonderful. That's wonderful.
I love that.
So here, I'll share with the viewers real quick. I don't want to be like that guy. It's like, hey, this thing we're talking about is so cool and you can't see it. No, we're all friends here. We'll look at it together.
That is awesome. Holy crap.
So there's this ice cream truck, and it's got an Akeem for outstanding performance of effort. employee of the month thing. It's got the Zamundan money, and it also has a Funko Pop of Prince Akeem on the top. I didn't even care about the fucking
Mike
ice
Tyson.
Well, that's true.
Mike Tyson from Mike Tyson's Punch Out.
Well, I'm an Eddie Murphy fan first, Mike Tyson fan second.
Yeah, well, I am too, but I didn't want that to go unnoticed.
Yeah. So, this Lethal Weapon news. So I thought it was dead. I thought, honestly, these guys are just way too old for this shit. I'm not trying to be funny. And it says, if you were disappointed that Lethal Weapon 5 might no longer happen, here's potentially good news. During a Hollywood Reporter roundtable discussion, producer Dan Lin insisted that the 5th entry in the series would indeed happen at some point. We're trying to make the last Lethal Weapon movie, and Dick Donner's coming back. The original cast is coming back, and it's just amazing. The story itself is very personal to him. Mel and Danny are ready to go, so it's about the script.
Oh, wow.
And then Richard Donner has chimed in to say, back in 2018, he said, I'm ready to do 5. It's called Lethal Finale. It's very dark, and we're all set to go, and now Warner Brothers is doing their old-fashioned tricks. Not Warner Brothers. They're the guys who runs the studios. They're great. But they have these people in the legal department who do the negotiating in the most counterproductive way. They should be sent to a studio and work with the producers and directors and actors and learn what makes a film, then negotiate. But it's just embarrassing. I wanted to end on an emotional note, and I don't think it's going to happen. So that's old news. We now have new news. So this has been something that they've been trying for almost 2 years. And respect to Richard Donner, the patron saint of this channel. He's 90. I hope he makes it to make a Lethal Weapon 5.
Wow, God damn, man! 90, like, as long I want to see it. Hopefully, it's not Rambo: Last Blood dark. That was dark as shit.
That was dark.
Very.
I want to, but I want to see. I'll be interested to see 2 old dogs. Maybe this is where they finally bite it. I hope not. I'm guessing, like I said, I'm gonna stick with the whole police academy. Ask them training. They're these 2 are 2 of the best cops this city's ever seen. But again, if it fucking comes out, it's gonna be over 20 years since 4. That's fucking crazy. We were 9 years old when 4 came out. That's gonna be fucking nuts. What the fuck? But I'm still gonna watch that shit. I don't give a damn.
Damn right, I am too. So while we're talking about Lethal Weapon and other stuff, I actually made a mistake. I wanted to do an intro after the dedication. So a couple weeks ago, I came across the post. We play the sausage game.
Yeah,
not with each other, but yeah.
We've never played sausage game. Let me go back. Sorry, it's a rough time. We've never played that sausage game. I think Kendo calls it tummy sticks.
Yeah, tummy sticks. Sword fighting. There's a lot of terms for it.
Yeah, I'm not a sword fighter. Anyway, the point I'm trying to make is we have these word games. So we had the sausage game where it's insert the word sausage into a Star Wars quote. I think TLJ Screwjob is a huge fan of that. A lot of our listeners like that. Tonight was meant for last week, but I've been wanting to do this for a while because it makes me laugh. And Dion, I think you'll appreciate it more than anyone. So take a famous movie quote and add the words "you piece of shit" to the end of it to make it fun. So, for example, Kendo, I know you had these pulled up. Could you give us one of yours?
Use the Force, Luke, you piece of shit.
There you go. Or, for my favorite movie, A League of Their Own, there's no crying in baseball, you piece of shit. Tom Hanks yelling at fucking Madonna, calling her a piece of shit. I can't.
Oh, God. Well, here you go. Terminator 2, I'll be back, you piece of shit.
Yeah. I'm Batman, you piece of shit.
Frankly, my dear, you piece of shit, I don't give a damn.
There you go. You can put "you piece of shit" anywhere in the quote.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Well, the first one I came up with, which made me laugh way too hard, was, hey, you piece of shit.
All right, Axel. Here's one. Magic mirror on the wall. Who's the fairest one of all, you piece of shit?
I am Arthur, king of the Britons, you piece of shit.
No, I am Spartacus, you piece of shit.
God.
I am the spy, you piece of shit.
You're gonna need a bigger boat, you piece of shit.
Now, are you talking to the shark or are you talking to Richard Dreyfuss?
Both.
The way you ever see a shark's eyes? They're like a doll's eyes, you piece of shit.
Could you imagine watching Citizen Kane? Rosebud, you piece of shit.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Keep your friends close, but keep your enemies closer, you piece of shit.
Nobody put a baby in a corner, you piece of shit.
I'm a doctor, not a philosopher, you piece of shit.
Oh, I would love an edit of Toy Story where it's to infinity and beyond, you piece of shit.
Yeah.
Houston, we have a problem, you piece of shit.
Insert Bill Paxton's face. I could eat, you pieces of shit.
I'm your Huckleberry, you piece of shit.
You talking to me, you piece of shit?
Say when, you piece of shit.
Oh my god. Oh, this is gonna be a fun one. I love this.
I'm the king of the world, you piece of shit.
I'm too old for this. Yeah, I'm too old for this shit, you piece of shit.
There you go.
Oh, show me the money, you piece of shit.
Love means never having to say you're sorry, you piece of shit.
I'm not even supposed to be here today, you piece of shit. No time for love, Dr. Jones, you piece of shit.
God.
Hey, lady, you call him Dr. Jones, doll, you piece of shit. Short round, call everybody a piece of shit.
That would be
dude.
awesome.
That would be
No
funny.
ticket, you piece of shit.
Luke, I'm your father, you piece of shit.
Could you give us one about the Kents, since you're the lost Kent, Nick?
I can't think of anything right now. I really can't.
So, folks, the piece of shit game is going to go through the night. We can have fun. Like I said earlier, for those who just joined us, lost my grandma, going to be away for a while. Wanted to have a show, have some fun before I'm gone. We're going to be completely dark. If you try to reach out, we won't be responding. Just, won't be available. We'll be back, guaranteed, for the Oscar party next week. But like I said, it was just a way to have some fun before I have to deal with the reality of the situation. So, anything more you guys want to say about Lethal Weapon 5?
We're not too old for this shit, luckily.
Mm-hmm.
You piece of shit. I hope it's good. I hope it's a fun movie. I hope they do it justice. I hope it's good. That's it.
So do you guys want to talk about something? Oh, Kendo, sorry.
I was just gonna say, yeah. I mean, they're 4 for 4, so let's hope they can keep it going.
I'm hoping that too. Now, speaking of keeping things going, I don't like, we make fun of celebrities all the time. It's nothing new on this channel. Yeah. I mean, we're called World Class Bullshitters, but there is a really sad celebrity situation that we've covered once before on the channel. Probably, almost 2018 now was when it first happened, and now we're gonna have to cover it again, sadly. So we've all seen the Mighty Ducks, right?
Yes.
Oh yeah, Goldberg's the goalie in the news again.
Yes, he is, man. I don't take any pleasure, and I'm not even gonna make fun of this guy. This is really, really fucking sad. I mean, drugs will fuck you up, and this is Goldberg from the Mighty Ducks. If you don't know who that is, let me just pull up a comparison photo.
Jeez, man.
Because it's sad, dude. It's one of the saddest things I've seen, celebrity wise in a long time. To see that this
it's the most extreme.
It is the most extreme.
I was gonna say it's the most extreme thing I've ever seen anybody go to lose weight.
Oh, fuck you. No, but I mean, this guy went from this to this in a span of a few short years.
Oh,
yeah, that's rough. Because when I see this guy, I always think of Goldberg the goalie. I loved Mighty Ducks 1 was one of the first movies I ever saw in theaters. I remember my mom, that was back in the day where my mom didn't buy concession snacks, so she had a big purse and she would sneak in stuff. I just remember going to this movie, sneaking in a fucking bag of popcorn and watching a movie about Emilio Estevez get a DUI. So, good movie.
Emilio!
But this job is my life.
Dude, next time you're out here, Nick, we should go to the locations that A Night at the Roxbury were filmed at.
Dude, don't even say that. That'll happen.
Okay, it will happen. So we had the Shaun Weiss situation. Let me read some of the story for those who don't know. Mighty Ducks star Shaun Weiss is believed to have been on meth while he was arrested for residential burglary in Van Nuys, California over the weekend. Cops encountered the 40-year-old actor while responding to a Sunday morning call from a homeowner who reported an unknown male was in his garage shortly before 7 a.m. The Montvale, New Jersey natives' credits include half a dozen episodes of Pee-wee's Playhouse and the Mighty Ducks film franchise. Officers reportedly found Weiss inside the caller's car. He is believed to have broken a window to access the vehicle. Officers reported the male out of the vehicle, or escorted the male out of the vehicle and took him to custody, according to the Marysville Police Department Facebook page. They added that Weiss displayed symptoms of being under the influence of methamphetamine, and he did not and that he did not reside at the residence. He also admitted to the police that the car was not his. Officers did not seem starstruck by the experience. After further investigation, it was determined that Weiss starred in several movies and television series, the cops claimed. So bail was set at $52,500.
Damn, man. Damn. It's a real bitch to have to sober up in a cell. Damn, man.
Yeah. Drugs are no joke, dude. Like, this is fucking sad.
It is, man. It is. Because, I mean, he was in a lot of movies, he had a good career, was on his way up, and, you hate to see it. You really do.
Yeah.
Plus, he's only 40. Look what he looks like in that picture. Jesus.
Yeah. According to Wikipedia, he's 41. It's ridiculous. Yeah, it's crazy that he looks like he's like 60.
Beyond 60, dude.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, this was one of the not weirder things, but the Kobe Bryant stuff happened, which I guess we actually haven't even had a chance to talk about that. So yeah, we'll talk about that in just a moment. But the Kobe Bryant stuff came out. This wasn't a huge story, but obviously the Kobe story was much bigger in scale. A lot more people were touched by Kobe Bryant than the Mighty Ducks films, and we have that. So just another thing we wanted to bring to your attention, because we tend to cover this guy quite a bit on the channel.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because I mean we all grew up watching Mighty Ducks movies at some point, and I think he was also in Heavyweights, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Yes, he was.
Heavyweights.
Yeah, which I think came out around the same time as well, and yeah, it was it was just one of those things. It was just I hope he did well, and apparently he's not doing too well.
No,
Jesus, man, it's so fucking depressing.
Yeah.
But in related Mighty Ducks news, Emilio Estevez is coming back as Gordon Bombay in the Disney Plus Mighty Ducks series.
Oh, I did not know that.
Yeah,
I saw that earlier today.
Yeah, which makes the timing of this fucking even more depressing.
Yeah. Look who's probably not going to be asked to come back and be a guest on the show.
I kind of wish Disney would just pay for this dude's rehab, just straight up, not even try to make a publicity thing about it. Just look at Van Nuys is a couple streets over from where I am, and Disney is not too fucking far from here, another 15 minutes. So I wish somebody would just fucking, be like, hey, clean this dude's life, really attempt to help him. I mean, they'll do all this stuff for publicity. Why not just low key pick him up and help him get some help?
Right. Yeah, get him in rehab. And, just have him be on the show or something. Have him help coach. Help coach or something.
Something. I mean, just
have him like act like being the assistant coach or whatever in the show, or just anything.
I wouldn't even put him in the film or anything. I would just have them legitimately take him to rehab and help him get his life cleaned up. That's it.
Okay.
Yeah, kind of like how WWE does.
Yeah.
So there was another story rolling around. I've only seen a little bit covered. Speaking of child actors, this really falls into our Star Wars wheelhouse. There's some new Jake Lloyd news. You guys heard about this?
Oh boy,
is he alive?
No,
he's alive. Remember, there was that death hoax a couple years ago about.
Okay, that's why when you mentioned Jake Lloyd, I was like, is he alive?
Because Jake Lloyd is alive.
Okay,
but his family is actually gives an update on the health of the Star Wars child actor Jake Lloyd. Being a child actor isn't easy. Portraying a younger version of Darth Vader in Star Wars was, in hindsight, probably too much to ask of any actor at such a young age. Nevertheless, George Lucas cast Jake Lloyd as Anakin Skywalker in 1999's The Phantom Menace. The actor would appear in only one Star Wars film, but that was enough to propel Lloyd down a dark path. A recent statement from his family shed some additional light on Lloyd's troubles. And this information comes from that hashtag show, and they're reporting from a website called geeksnow.net. So this is just from this source. It says, "We would like to thank everyone for their kind words, their support, and goodwill. Jake has been diagnosed with paranoid schizophrenia, but unfortunately, he also has a symptom called agnosia, which causes a lack of insight into his illness. It only adds to the struggle he faces, which has been very difficult after the tragic loss of his younger sister, Madison. He has moved closer to his family, and we're all working hard to help him with this. He's still a kind and caring person. We hope to have him back to his fun and entertaining self as soon as possible. Jake will continue to make progress with love and support that you continue to show. So yeah, this just kind of came out of nowhere as well. This is a very somber episode of World Class Bullshitters.
Yeah.
But
Jesus, man.
We see the Jake Lloyd stuff, and it says the article closes out with, like his co-star Ahmed Best and the later fellow Star Wars actor Kelly Marie Tran, Jake Lloyd became the target of unwarranted hatred and cruelty. That he is now on a path of progress surrounded by those he loves should be welcoming news to all true Star Wars fans. We certainly wish Jake and his family the best of luck. So I didn't realize, I knew he had that car wreck a couple years ago. But it's the funny thing too, like when it comes to like Jake Lloyd, like the Fandom Menace will definitely talk about bad Star Wars and stuff like that, but that's a topic like when it comes to real life stuff, nobody ever really talks about that one because it's a kid actor. Yeah, he wasn't great in the movie, but he's a kid actor. Leave him alone.
Right.
Well, and here's the thing too. Like I for sure understand, and especially now, right? Because everyone wants to blame the fan base, and then sometimes it's legitimate, and in there, silent minority is a term that gets used around a lot. But clearly he had emotional problems, he had mental problems. Even if episode 1 went great, the kid would have probably had fucking problems. So and I'm not trying to I guess sway the conversation, but especially when this came out earlier today. This whole, this isn't the first time that fans do this. Like, fucking stop that shit. If you want to have a serious conversation about mental health, a serious conversation about whether kids should be in film and in TV, stop blaming the fucking fans. Everyone keeps blaming it. Like, listen, I'm sure that there are people who are assholes to them. Fan bases of any kind are fucking bad. But having a kid be part of a fucking billion-dollar franchise, the biggest franchise, top 3 easily biggest franchises of all time. Even if the fucking movie would have been good, you think that he would have been able to go to school the next fucking Monday? And I really hope that he does well. I really hope. I never had a problem with Jake Lloyd. Shit, I never had a problem with the dude who played Jar Jar. I'm my best. The movie wasn't great, but this idea that it's the fan base's fault that he got bullied because he got blamed for Star Wars. That's a fucking easy out. That's the same easy out that people try to put on people with mental illness all the goddamn time. Oh, well, it's got to be some like the kid clearly had mental problems. They probably accentuated with the movie, but don't ever pretend that he would have been able to go to school the Monday after the fucking premiere and he would have had a normal fucking life. Yeah, I fucking hate that shit. It pissed me off today. This isn't the first time the Star Wars fan base. Fuck you. No one ever is like, yeah, let's go make fun of this kid. Kids are assholes. You think those same asshole kids that were making lightsaber noises after he was in Star Wars wouldn't have made him if they liked the fucking movie?
Well, I mean, I think it's something that just happens with a lot of child actors. Look at Corey Feldman. He was in tons of successful movies. He had a huge string of hits. I mean, we're talking Goonies, Lost Boys, The Burbs. He was the voice of Donatello in the Ninja Turtles. Like Corey Feldman, Friday the 13th Part 4. Like, the dude had a really great career early on. Now, if you've read his book or you've learned stuff about him, yes, he is not a nice guy, and yes, he's gone through some shit, but that happens to a lot of child actors. It's different for each person. Yes, I'm sure Star Wars was very traumatic for this kid, and this isn't a situation where I'd ever blame George Lucas because, like, yeah, episode 1's what it is. In hindsight, it's better. No, it's not better. It still sucks to the most.
Right.
It's hard. Look, episodes 7, 8, 9 are terrible. Like, terrible. Episodes 1, 2, and 3. 3's good. I'm not going to shut on 3, but 1 has good moments. 7 has none. I mean, I'll give it credit where credit's due, but I just don't like that it kind of ruined this dude's life. Was I out there buying Anakin Skywalker figures? No. Did I play him in the video game? No. Did I like him? No, but I don't dislike Jake Lloyd. I like Jingle all the way.
Yeah, because we can separate the actor from the character.
Yeah,
right.
And that's something we always talk about on the podcast. Like, we don't like Kylo Ren, but we love Adam Driver.
It's funny. I actually had that conversation with Jesse today. We were walking down the street, and there was we're going to the grocery store to get something, and there was a billboard for that. What was that marriage movie he's in? A Marriage Story with Scarlett Johansson, and I was like, good for him. I hope of all the people in the new Star Wars, he has the best career because he seems like the best dude.
Well, he's always on SNL. If you watch SNL stuff, he's actually really funny and like really, really good. He did a movie or a show with Daniel Radcliffe, it was really good too. Like he's really good. It's just that he got caught in Star Wars. Thank God he's done things before and he's doing things after, so he'll be fine.
Well, and then the thing too that pisses me off, right, is people, this crazy blame of like, well, let's blame the people who consume the product. It's completely their fucking fault. Apparently, these prequels are great, and everyone keeps saying, well, it's the vocal minority, blah, 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 blah. People from these franchises that are apparently in this great movie that you call so great fucking are having, their lives are changed forever. So this idea to blame, oh, well, the movie was bad and people blamed him. This shit happens when the movie's good. The original trilogy was great, and it fucked up Carrie Fisher's life. It was part of that was a huge thing, that and Coke, but this fucking crazy idea, fucking, is anyone gonna jump on the people who reviewed episode 1? People dumped on his acting. That wasn't the fans that did that shit.
No.
Siskel and Ebert, future Siskel and Ebert, big guy fame, fucking said that Jake Lloyd was terrible in the movie. But no one's like, oh, fuck, maybe it was him saying that he's a terrible actor that fucked him up. No, it's the fans. Like all of a sudden kids are going to stop making fun of their famous friends. Macaulay Culkin is loved all over the world. He had a rough time in fucking high school. So this idea that, he got blamed for the movie being bad, get the fuck out of here with that shit, dude.
Kids are just assholes. That's really what it comes down to.
Oh, definitely. 100%.
Yeah, and exposing a kid to that level of fame, that has, that's not just in the hands of the people that consume what they do. Having a fucking 10-year-old play Darth Vader is fucking crazy, and that was one of the issues with the fucking film. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, and then having him do a press junket where it's like 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. of just like 100 people coming and asking you questions is fucking terrifying. And you're a kid, and you're doing this, and you're contractually required to do this. Fuck that.
Yeah. And Dregs brings up a good point. People sent death threats to Kylo to Ben Swallow.
Yeah, the Reylo people, because he wouldn't leave his wife for Daisy. What? See, now that's the type of shit that gets extreme, but they just brush it under the rug. I mean,
no one talks about that shit, but it's, you guys didn't like the movie because you're sexist, so you guys ruined Jake Lloyd's part. Fuck you. I don't know that fucking guy. I have empathy for him. I'm not, I like, Jeff and I joke all the time. I like the part up until Darth Maul shows up, but I'm, fuck, I don't know that fucking kid. He and us, we're the same age basically. So it's like, fuck, I didn't ruin that fucking guy's life. Don't put that shit on me. That's not my goddamn fault. That you want to pick a fight with, this is the Fandom Menace does it again. How you would only have a point to make on that if I walked up to you and slapped you in the fucking mouth and then said, you suck at life. Other than that, you can't blame someone for doing something to someone they never even met. If you want to get into it, how about where were his parents? Maybe they should have said fucking no. Where was the conversation with this when it came out? Years and years later that he was fucking on set all the goddamn time. Where's the outrage at that? It's just ridiculous. Blame the fucking media, blame TV shows that plaster his face up, ruin Star Wars. Fans didn't write that shit and turn it in to the producer to put on screen. Shit like Entertainment Tonight did that. That wasn't us. Yeah. So fuck you. Don't put that on me. I hope the guy does well. I have a twin sister. I'd be heartbroken if my sister got hurt. But it's not my goddamn fault that he got caught up in the whirlwind that is Hollywood. It chewed him up and it spat him out. And now everyone wants to point blame at something instead of fucking reaching out to the kid. Jesus.
Yeah, especially after the fact this long and you're blaming us.
Right.
The Fandom Menace. Like, we've only been around for a few years. Like, you need to calm your shit.
Well, to be fair, like the name Fandom Menace doesn't pop up at all, but they just say Star Wars fans.
Right.
Okay. Yeah. Well, that's true. And I mean, and also we get blamed for Jar Jar Binks as well, which people unanimously didn't like the character. They didn't, and they didn't know who the guy was until like way afterwards. And it's like, I'm sorry that guy felt that way. I'm sorry that was a thing, but
right. And it's I don't ever wish, I take that back. There are a very short list of people, things that people can do to make me wish that they do something to themselves. That I'm human like everyone else, but I'm a bet tried to kill himself. That's terrible. So sad. It's terrible, right? But this idea that the whole fan base got together and was like, "Hey, Ahmed, you ruined Star Wars," when it was Entertainment Tonight and Time Magazine and all these places that said, "Hey, this guy ruined Star Wars." The thing that makes it worse is everyone trying to backpedal. Simon Pegg, famously, right around the time that they were talking about Episode 8, and that's time span between Last Jedi and Rise of Jedi. Well, fan bases can be pretty cruel, and I felt terrible. It's like, bitch, maybe you can make the conversation as an adult that, hey, people get emotionally invested in things and people react. Even in the video that they show of Simon Pegg, he's not dumping on Ahmed Best, he's dumping on the movie. But this need for people to shoulder the blame on someone instead of saying, hey, maybe having a particular sensitive actor play a poorly conceived character was a bad fucking idea. Instead of, the fans do it again. Like, fuck you. Like, either so you're not a fan now, you're covering it, but you're not a fan, and you're not a part of that because you don't see yourself in that way, but everyone else is. That's flawed logic at its fucking finest. Everyone else is bad, but not me and the people who agree with me. We're all good, but it's the vocal minority. And they stop saying vocal minority. How the fuck do they have so much power over people's lives? If you want to have the intelligent conversation, have the conversation, but look at all the contributing factors, not just the people you don't like because they don't like the thing that you like.
It's a lot easier just to point fingers and place blame than it is to actually have the intelligent conversation.
Exactly. 100%.
I'm a journalist. I obviously am a failed writer. That's why I'm a journalist. So I got to come up with the easiest way to get notoriety. I'm just going to write smear pieces and point fingers. I'm not actually going to offer any solutions that could be, feasible.
Yeah, and I wish the best Jiggler and his family. I hope he comes out of it, or at least gets better in some way, shape, or form. Because he was a kid when he did this. And he deserves to have a normal life.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's funny you bring up Simon Pegg and Star Wars because he was really the first celebrity to really shit on Episode 1 really hard. I mean, he used his television show Space as a platform. Here's a fucking clip of it right here.
Yeah.
I said, this was the sentiment back then. I just find it when he was the one that spoke out about Star Wars fans and shit last year or 2 years ago now, I was just like, you are a hypocrite, dude. One, you're in these fucking movies, so that's why you're speaking out against the fan base, but you yourself don't like Episode 1 and the shit George Lucas did, and you weren't afraid to say it when you were a smaller time actor. But then,
on some
celebrity hits, he wants to rub elbows with J.J. Abrams and be in Star Trek and Mission Impossible and all this stuff. And he's got much more to lose. So he changes his tune. But I mean, you can't take away the shit Spaced, a fantastic television show, said about Star Wars Episode 1. So I think sentiment. There we go.
Yeah, and I mean he even wrote some of the episodes as well. So he probably wrote his monologue that he did right there. So yeah, I mean he's part of the problem.
Yeah, not only that, but this it's not just hypocrisy. It's the unwillingness to empathize with yourself and how you felt at that time. Even with him, you get past the hypocrisy thing. Even with him, he wasn't outwardly attacking the fucking actors. So instead of taking a step back and saying, okay, I didn't really attack the actors. I harshly critiqued the film. Maybe other people didn't do the same. Maybe the vast majority didn't do the same. Okay. Instead of having that conversation with yourself and then transitioning to, should we talk about how the media and how critics review movies? Should we have a talk about cultural response to things like child acting? No, it's the fan base. It's the fan base. Bitch, if it were that easy, it would just be done. Everyone would be easily able to distinguish between trolls and legitimate. There are multiple fucking articles from quote unquote great sources, legitimate sources that have, they are all about the fucking title. No one's calling in the Arthur the author, excuse me. No one's calling in the author of any articles titled Jake Lloyd ruined Star Wars or this kid ruined Star Wars. No one's calling in the author of hey, why Jar Jar Binks ruined Star Wars. Why Jar Jar Binks is the worst character ever. No one's calling in the specific paparazzi participants who followed these motherfuckers around, who followed Jake or Lloyd around after the premiere, who got super up close in Ahmed Best's face and trying to get their reactions when they read the reviews. No one's calling those in. No one's calling those people. No, are we going to have a conversation about, legally, what should we do about paparazzi? No, it's the fan base, and we'll just keep making those same articles and expect to shame them into doing something. No one responds to that. And this constant bullshit, especially by people now that it's the internet who work for Esquire and Vox and Comic Rant and all these motherfuckers who whose arms are too fucking short to box with God, want to pick a fight with people that they don't fucking know. And then they hide behind the computer screen. It's the anonymity that's the problem. You wouldn't say what you just said to my face either. So maybe we should have an empathetic discussion about the shit that's not easily solved and try to solve it instead of you trying to pick a fight with someone like me who you wouldn't stand a chance with, whether in a regular conversation or the supposed tough guy stance you think I pretend to be online. It's like, I want to be the guy that calls out the fan base. When is that the real fucking issue, let alone who's going to listen to you?
Yeah. I mean, these are excellent points. I'm actually surprised how in-depth we've gone over the Jake Lloyd stuff. I just hope websites can kind of do the same critical thinking about that and change it, because it's all about the narrative right now. And I mean, even their blame the fans narrative is tired. I mean, IGN's got an article out about it, which I'm going to cover when I come back. Like, all kinds of stuff is being said that they can't let this one go. It's always the fans. And at the end of the day, Hollywood, all these other places that write on Hollywood, if it's not for the fans, like, look at it like this. We're the customers. If Coca-Cola has no customers, I don't care if they have how many billions of dollars, they're going to go under. If no one's drinking Coke, they're going to go away. If no one's buying Disney tickets, Disney's going to go away. If you're not going to their theme parks, if you're not buying action figures or all this other shit they own or license, they're going to get hurt. And every time these people blame the fans, the fucking fans keep them employed. So it'd be nice if we could have that conversation.
Right.
Speaking of conversations, we got a ton of things people have been trying to get in on the conversation with Jake Lloyd. So normally we kind of do more of the super chats towards the end, but there's a couple. Obviously, the "you pieces of shit" is really catching on, and I want to talk about the Jake Lloyd point because a couple of people have made some really good points. So first off, TLJ Screwjob says, "I'm only 12 minutes into Beverly Hills Cop, but I love how Axel shifts his eyes back and forth when he stops the car from rolling back. Like, no one saw that." I think I read somewhere that wasn't scripted. It's just something I think I remember reading. TLJ Screwjob. Don't hold me to it 100%. But I do know for a fact at that 11-minute marker is the first time you hear Axel F in the movie, and the world was a different place in 1984. Just saying.
If that wasn't scripted, that's just brilliant.
Yeah, dude, Eddie Murphy at his peak, you could not.
Oh yeah,
it seems like a lot of those movies that are really that were really iconic in the 80s. Like there were scripts, but like the comedians or the actors just kind of did their own thing. Like even looking back on like the commentary stuff for Ghostbusters, a lot of it is just them like talking about scenes in certain areas and just filming it and just going and just doing it. And then cut it together later. I was like, Jesus Christ, this is amazing.
Well, that's because ad-lib is. Well, I was gonna say because with ad-libbing, that's usually the most organic you're gonna find.
Oh yeah,
but of course, then it also can go sideways if you've got like Ghostbusters 16 where there's a bunch of ad-libbing and they just suck.
Well, one, the comedians today aren't as good. Just flat out, we'll say.
Well, there's that.
And secondly, too, you have Ivan Reitman and crew who knows when to edit a joke, when to cut a joke. There's a lot of, there's that whole subplot. Nick, you brought up Ghostbusters about the bums that Dan Aykroyd and Bill Murray play.
Yeah.
I mean, they knew, they were smart enough to know, like, this shit doesn't work. They weren't going to try to force it in there because, like, well, this represents whatever. Who gives a shit? If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. And that's why Ghostbusters is one of the greatest movies ever.
Yeah. On the big 5-disc thing, I've watched all the things that they cut, and it's weird because like they're all wonderful scenes and they're all really funny. But if you put if you place any of them in the movie where they're supposed to be, it breaks the momentum. It breaks the whole thing. The way they cut it together, the way they put it together is perfect. It just, it's great.
Yeah. TLJ Screwjob also says F in the chat for Jeff's grandma in the chat. Thank you very much, TLJ Screwjob. I appreciate that. Mark C says condolences. We'll be here when you get back. Mark C, thank you very much. I will be back. Don't worry, folks. Just just know why we're away for a little bit. Our first fan, Noah R, is here. He says, just checking in. Wish you all well. Sorry for your loss, Jeff. Thank you for 4+ years of good times. Dion, I want my damn handy from 2015, bro.
Gonna have to get it from his cold dead hands. I don't know.
You piece of shit.
There you go. There you go.
Thank you, Noah R. Mark C says, bring on Riggs and Murtaugh. I ain't too old for this shit. I want them, man. I don't care if they're old. We have old cops we deal with all the time. Do you think one of them should be retired like Murtaugh and then Riggs and him still talk?
Absolutely. Like he's still part of the family, and then he can't crack the case, and he's calling Murtaugh to help him. He's like, no, Riggs, I'm out of the game. I got 15 grandkids. I'm too old for that shit.
That would make sense. Also, would they bring back Chris Rock?
They got to, right? They got to.
They have
he's
to.
married. He's married to her Murtaugh's daughter.
And your baby? Whoa, baby.
Oh, baby.
You piece of shit. I mean, feel like
your baby is having my baby. You piece of shit.
I want to get that exact clip of you saying you piece of shit and then just dub it into every movie ever.
I think it works a lot better than we think too.
I think it works very well. We should do a commentary of one of the Disney Star Wars movies and just add you piece of shit as often as possible.
Oh yeah.
I might die laughing, but hey.
At least it'll be entertaining.
Let's see. Scribby Steak says, sup, Jeff? I understand wholeheartedly. Handle what you must and how you will. The Dismal Trilogy commentaries will suffice until you return. Well, Scribby Steak, thank you very much for that. Yeah, like I said, just go back and check out the old stuff, the George Lucas portrayal, all that fun stuff. And realistically, I don't want to do anything now because it might not be, have my heart in it. But I will eventually. Liquor Jim says, condolences, Jeff. Did your grandma have a favorite charity where I could donate? Well, Liquor Jim, if you'd like to do something, my grandma was, a veteran. That's why I have the stance I do about all the military stuff we do on the channel. Because I was like, yeah, my grandma was in World War II. She was awesome. She was one of those, she was in the Navy and all that stuff. So if you feel inclined to do something like that, awesome. But, my whole thing is just be excellent to each other, folks. Like, I'm very lucky that I, like my last experience with her was very positive. A lot of people were like, oh, the last thing I ever said to somebody was shitty. My last thing was I said, oh, I love you. I'll see you soon. So I don't have any of that guilt. But if you want to do something like that, Liquor Jim, I don't know, some veterans thing or something along those lines. She was always, super into that. Mark C says, speaking of Bad Boys, if you haven't seen it, look up Will Smith gun safety on Twitter. Have you guys seen that?
I have not.
What?
Hold on. Let me check that out on my phone real fast. Will Smith. No, that's not how you spell Smith.
I feel like is that supposed to be like a bit or something that he was doing?
Okay, but let's see. Bad Boys star Will Smith.
Oh,
points out gun safety.
Oh, I see it now. Yeah. Okay, it's like him talking about gun safety on the set of Bad Boys 3.
I mean, he's dealt with them enough. He would probably know.
Well, I mean, I also trust Will Smith to fly an alien fighter if we ever get invaded. So,
and he's going to welcome many an alien to Earth.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then Randy Quaid will come in at the last second and just go right up the poop chute of the alien vessel and take it out.
Hello, boys. I'm back. You pieces of shit.
I really like that.
Oh, okay. All right. I saw the thing. Okay, that's funny.
Well, I'll check it out with the sound on later because I don't know what copyright strike.
Basically, like somebody grabbed a gun in front of him and pointed at his face when they pulled it off the table, and he's like, "Don't do that. That's not how you handle a gun."
No, well, I would never want to point a gun at Will Smith. I actually respect Will Smith.
Right. Just my man's batting about 30 right now, so he's
yeah, he's not batting really high anymore. It seems like. Because he had Gemini Man, which bombed, and then like what is it, Spies in Disguise, which nobody watched. Bad Boys has made some money because of name recognition, but I don't know. They're probably going to greenlight part 4 here soon. So
they leave it set up for a sequel.
Yeah, they did.
They do. It's like I said, dude. It's like a kung fu movie. You know, there's the big reveal, and then at the very end, in jail, hey, you want to come and work some of that time off? And then it's like the end. It's like, come on, man. You know, good and goddamn way, nobody gonna be calling for a sequel to this shit.
With the money they've made so far, they're probably gonna get it.
I mean, like I said, overall I liked it, but just it's just the reveal at the end. Yeah, like I get it. Just the whole I'm so tired of the I'm getting old storyline in action movies now. It's like come on.
So real quick, when Mark C asked us to look up the Will Smith gun safety, it pulled up the other trending things. So have you guys heard about Hobo Johnson?
Hell yeah, man! No. I love that dude.
What happened? Music.
I don't know, but everyone he's trending right now, and they're talking about his tweets or his lyrics or whatever about having herpes.
I know he came out with a new song. I don't remember him. It must have just got released if he's talking about how he's got herpes. He does live in California, and he's a Sacramento Kings fan, so I get him having herpes.
Well, this might be like a Photoshop, but it says Hobo Johnson lyrics, peach herpes. Oh boy, never mind. This has to be fake. Who the fuck is Hobo Johnson? Oh my god. Anyway, sorry. Back on track. We have a show. I can't go down the Hobo Johnson rabbit hole. Leonardo da Vinci says, Jeff, I'm really sorry for your loss, and I wish you the very best moving forward. Well, Leonardo da Vinci, you are my favorite of all the classical painters, so thank you very much for that, and my favorite Ninja Turtle. But thank you very much. I appreciate the sentiment. 007 Cloud says, sorry to hear, bro. Feel better soon. Much love to your wonderful grandma. Again, thank you very much. That means a lot. Now, here's where the fun begins, guys. We got our pieces of shit quotes. This is why I wanted to get to it, so people can get on the piece of shit train. TLJ Screwjob says, do or do not. There is no try. You piece of shit.
That's right.
Dr. Coffindale says, I love you. I know, you piece of shit. Mark C. Thank you. He says, I want a Red Ryder 200-shot range model air rifle. You piece of shit. Can you imagine little Ralphie calling the old man a piece of shit?
Dude, it'd be
to be fair, if he was saying it to the Santa Claus, that's Santa.
Oh yeah,
piece of shit. So that's Warner.
Yeah, Santa Claus kind of is a piece of shit, but he treats those other kids.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. That specific Santa Claus is kind of scary.
Yeah. I get that one for sure.
Ho ho ho. TLJ Screwjob says, I will take the ring to Mordor, though I do not know the way. You piece of shit. It's sad. I was actually this weekend we were going to have our Lord of the Rings live watch party with with a couple of listeners and Gary and a couple other YouTubers. So we're gonna have to put that on hold for a while, but I will eventually get to watch those films. So, folks, if you were wondering about that watch party, one day. Modalicious says, Grandma passed Christmas Day 2006, Mom 2018, 7 days after I finally graduated with my GI Bill bachelor's. Handle your business, prayers, brah. Well, Modalicious, thank you very much. Sorry for your loss, too. I said to Jesse, I was like, man, if something happened to my mom right now, that'd just be a 1-2 punch that I could not deal with. So, Gunnar Renee Oli says, Stealing Solo arrived fine here in Norway. Seems like it was shipped in bulk to the country, then posted in a plastic bag. Thanks and condolences. Well, Gunnar, thank you very much for getting the book. Thank you for letting me know how it was handled. See, it annoys me that that's the case because, I had to deal with all the crap here because of the oversight of the company. And then when it comes to overseas stuff, it was all good. So I hope you enjoy your book. Thank you very much for backing it. I wish they would have put more time into my project. Thunder Robot says, you piece of shit. Hold on. You piece of shit. What was just pooped? Sorry, I can't even read this couple live right now. You piece of shit. What just popped in there? I don't even know what that's from.
Yeah, I don't recognize that one.
I don't care though. It starts out with you piece of shit. I'm gonna listen.
Yeah.
Makini 90, thank you very much. Ultron's first appearance. No. How could you be worthy? You pieces of shit. Oh my god. It's funny, Dion, all you guys, you hear me talk about how I don't really want to watch Age of Ultron much.
Right.
But now I kind of want to watch it with that in mind.
I mean, that
Tony
definitely
a piece of shit.
Yeah, well, easy.
He's not really a piece of shit. Jesse and I actually had, how long do you think we talked? About an hour about Civil War? Yeah, the other night we were sitting here talking on the couch about Civil War, Captain America, Iron Man, who, how far one of their character changes went and stuff like that. Actually, we should have recorded it. We'll do it on Mindless Bullshit. We still have to do our Infinity War Endgame watch party, which is better. Oh yeah, Colin. Yeah, Dion, I want your take on that too one day. All you guys' takes, actually.
For sure.
John McMaster says, "Ray, you piece of shit." I feel like John Boyega is going to tweet at us angrily right now.
Yeah, I mean, he very well could, but also he probably is just like, I just don't want to do the fucking Star Wars. He's like, my character sucks.
Lonnie Holcomb
was force sensitive and wanted to bang everybody.
I mean, wouldn't you?
Hey, remember when I was supposed to get with the white girl? Yeah, that ain't happening. That ain't happening.
Well, he tried to bang Poe as well. Come on now.
Wouldn't you?
Who was it that retroactive was like, yeah, Poe and Finn are gay, and it's like, bitch, get out of here. No, stop it. I mean,
it is. Well,
I'm just like, whatever, dude. No, he wasn't. You're just saying that now because you want fucking some cool riding, menthol smoking hipster asshole to really like you. Just stop fucking around on your wife and make movies. Get better on making movies.
Yeah. Jeez. Professor McCoy, our friend Lonnie Holcomb says, hiatus, WTF. Well, Lonnie, it's family stuff, but you guys definitely are up to date. I just want you guys to know what's up. Professor McCoy's Pop Culture Review says, what's this hiatus you speak of? And if you watch Secondhand Lions yet? Well, Professor McCoy, I'm going to be going back to Ohio on Friday, so I'll pick up the DVD because I'm actually going to go use that time after the funeral and stuff like that to pick up a few things I wanted to bring out here with me. But I will watch it. I did buy the DVD as soon as you mentioned it on Good Morning Pop Culture.
Secondhand Lions, is that Haley Joel Osment, Michael Caine, and fucking
Robert Duvall, right?
Yeah, who the fuck wants you to randomly watch Secondhand Lions?
This guy, Professor McCoy's Pop Culture Review, is really into it.
Really? Okay.
What do you think of the movie?
I like it. Like I said, it's I don't feel the way I feel about that movie isn't the same that I feel about Beverly Hills Cop. But I mean, there's a couple cool scenes in it, especially the bar fight where he's fighting like three younger dudes, and he has that cool, I've killed men on 3 continents and fought all over the world and loved one woman, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, that's a cool scene, but the rest of it is just really Haley Joel Osment looking up with a surprised look on his face for fucking 2 hours. I'm like, man, you can stop being so surprised. You've been in this movie for 2 hours. How are you surprised all the time? Grandpa's cool. We get it. You can't be surprised everything they say something. All right.
Well, what's
ironic?
It's a good movie.
What's ironic now? If you see Haley Joel Osment in a movie, you'll look up surprised, be like, "Whoa, really? He's actually got a career still."
He's not dead. No.
Yeah, he'll show up every now and again in random stuff. He's like, I see him. He's still alive. I was worried.
I see you, Haley. I see you, man. Keep working for that Saturn Award, baby.
Gotta work. You gotta have goals in life. It's good to have goals.
That's right, man. Have those goals, and maybe every once in a while, eat a salad, Haley. You and me both, baby.
I would like to say, though, of every child actor ever, Haley Joel Osment has the greatest line in history. It's okay. Walker told me I have AIDS.
You piece of shit.
Yeah, there you go.
There, yeah, thank you. It's come full circle now. Bikini 90 says, Thor, is that the best you can do? You piece of shit. Our buddy Tim Riggs says, joined late but checked out the front of the stream. Sorry to hear about that, Jeff. Big love from Indiana, and I'll keep you and yours in my thoughts, man. Tim, thank you very much, buddy. Hope you come to Cincinnati for Horror Hound. That's all happening. All that stuff's been ordered and taken care of. So we will be there at Horror Hound in March. What do we got? A month and 20 days, roughly. So, Tim, come out, man. We'll do it up again like we did last time. We had a fantastic time. Makini90 says, Ultron, this is the best I can do. This is exactly what I wanted. All of you against all of me. How can you possibly hope to stop me, Iron Man? Well, just like the old piece of shit said, together. That's mean. Our friend Horace Cock Johnson sent in a giant super chat to give us his. He pitched us a Lethal Weapon 5.
Oh shit! This is gonna be good.
After going on a drunken tirade full of expletives.
Already? Drunken tirade is what broke you?
Full of expletives and ethnic slurs. Riggs, now captain of the LAPD, is locked in a psych ward. Murtaugh hears about this, escapes to the nursing home in order to break Riggs out. They find Riggs was framed by J.J. Abrams using CGI.
Oh, God. Hopefully not CGI fire.
Do you think Lethal Weapon 5 should touch on some of the shit Mel Gibson said?
No,
that was fucking over 10 years ago. Plus, he kind of got shat on for a while, rightfully so. You can't be calling your police officer sugar tits. No, we're not all about blaming the Jews, man. So no. he got put on the outs. He had to fight to get back in, and hey, no Mel Gibson, we probably don't have RDJ as Iron Man. So
that is the one thing. Yeah, that is the best point I think you can make about Mel Gibson post his rants or slurs and all that stupid shit. He did put faith in RDJ, backed him financially, or backed the insurance, and did give him that. So I mean, I don't back anything he's done or said, but thank you for helping us have Iron Man.
Right, and and everyone that is of a mature age, you don't, you say what you really feel when you're drunk. No, you say crazy shit when you're drunk. No one, the dude, plus going through crazy shit. Don't get me wrong, I'm still mad at him about, hoping his girlfriend gets, by a pack of what, but everyone knows too, when you're going through a breakup, you say the meanest shit you can think of, not excusing it, but the dude got ran over the coals justifiably. How you want him to be on the outs for 50 years? Come on.
Well,
dude didn't pull a Sterling, the dude who owns the Clippers. He didn't pull that.
Was that what happened again with that one?
He was on the phone with his mistress.
Oh, God.
And then he told his mistress to not bring black people to his games.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Well, it's one of those things where it's like, people who pay their debt to society and still get shit on. It's like, what more do you want from them? Like, what is the number? Give us the number so we know what it is, because they've paid their debt, they've done their dues, they said they're sorry. What more do you want from them?
Well, he handled it best too when he was doing the interview when he did the movie where his daughter gets killed or whatever, and he's a cop. Edge of Darkness, and he was doing the press junket for that, and the guy was like, "Yeah, so you've had a bounce back from the arrest, the racial slurs, and he handled it like he's like, "Yeah, he goes, I paid for it, but how long are we gonna keep talking about this? I think I've paid my dues, don't you? Thank you." And the guy goes, "All right, Mel, thanks for being on the show with you." He said, "Yep, bye, asshole." Right before it gets cut off, and I was like, God damn it, you're still a G, Gibson. You're still a G.
Yeah, because he said this shit over 10 years ago. It's like, what more do you want? Even like, oh God, even the stuff with like Louis C.K., he still gets railroaded all the time about it and asked about it, and he's like, "Oh, you people are protesting at the shows and things like that." It's like what he did was horrible and disgusting, but it's nowhere on the level of like Bill Cosby or Harvey Weinstein.
And listen, man, like every time you hear something, you need to take it on a case by case basis. That takes a lot of time and it's difficult, but it's supposed to be, right?
Yeah.
And you gotta look at the circumstances that go up to it. Like I said, I don't know everyone's relationship with everyone in fucking Hollywood, but to just broad strokingly be like, "Oh, this dude's a piece of shit. We cannot let him make a living ever again. It's like some dudes deserve that. Some dudes do deserve to be put under the jail. Some don't. Some eat their bullets with a smile on their face, and eventually you gotta sit down and say, all right, society, we did a good job. He paid for it. Let's move the fuck on. Plus, if all things considered, where we are as a society in this century, pulling your dick out is probably pretty low on the spectrum right now.
Well, did you hear about what Kathy Bates, of all people, said about this stuff?
Yeah, God, rightfully so. Yeah.
What did she say?
What happened there?
It wasn't even anything crazy. It was very like, hold on, let me get the exact quote because I was surprised about.
She was talking about Me Too.
Yeah,
and you can pull up the direct quote, but she brought up a very good point. And it brings up the side of the conversation where it's like you can't just broad stroke motherfuckers, and she brought up a very good point. And especially coming from a veteran. Now, some parts she didn't word very well. I'll admit that. But, she brought up a good counter argument, not against Me Too, but one of those things where it's like, you can't just dump everything in one fucking barrel, so to speak.
Well, said, here's her quote. She said, about people like Harvey Weinstein and the casting couch and all of that, Bates began, I have a confession. In my day, if you went up to a guy's hotel room, you knew exactly why you were going. And in those days, it was consensual. She continues, times were different then, but I really support the women who are coming forward now, and I'm not happy about the men who are being falsely accused. But the ones that deserve it, they're getting my feelings, so hey, go for it.
Right.
So I'm just saying, I was surprised to hear
and I mean, like, what you... Yeah, and I mean, yeah, that's what happened. And even, like, what was it? Neil deGrasse Tyson got blamed for some stuff there for, like a month. And I was like, really?
Some people tried that shit. But even, what was a couple years ago, we talked about it on the show, Henry Cavill. He was like, I'm very careful about, who I meet with. And, I'm not going to, I don't interact with some people because of this. People want to jump on him. Well, you're going to not interact with women, certain women, you're judging women. And he's just like, motherfucker, yeah, if it's something that could potentially ruin my career, what the fuck you want? You want me to just, be nice and interact and enjoy the fandom a bit, and then just kind of hope no one decides to accuse me of something based on the goodness of their hearts. That's, and he brought up a very good fucking point, man. Everyone wants the people who are actually guilty to go to jail, but you got to take these things on a case by case fucking basis. You got to.
I'm surprised. Yeah. I'm not surprised, but I'm glad you brought up the Henry Cavill thing.
I kind of forgot about that. Yeah, I remember that being a thing. Yeah, he was something to the effect he's like he'd rather go back to an ex-girlfriend because he knows what he's getting into, as opposed to starting something with somebody new that he doesn't know, and like it maybe turn into a fiasco or something.
He's like, and he said, I think he said he doesn't know their intentions, and it's like you don't. You fucking the Ezekiel Elliott thing just happened a couple years ago. That shit, even if it's, you have one instance out of every 100 accusations that are real, one is too many, because that shit is devastating. It's devastating.
Yeah, look at Aziz Ansari.
Mm-hmm.
Netflix was ready to shoot him out of a cannon, and then all of a sudden they're like, oh, my bad. We screwed up. It's like, yeah, you did.
Yeah, man. James Franco after The Disaster Artist came out, motherfucking Danny Masters, and and again, if people are doing this shit, put them under the jail, fucking lock them up. But again, it's like you can't pretend, that all of these are batting 100. That's just a very naive thing to believe. It's happened, from everywhere, from movies all the way down to YouTube and small screen stuff. You can't pretend like, oh, everyone's batting 100 and everyone's telling the truth all the fucking time. It's just not the case. That's just not how the world works.
Oh man, you have those, people have those like have two, Snapchat accounts so they can just, message people without it showing up and things like that, just for a reason. They have those things for a reason. They got burner phones for a reason.
Mm-hmm. Well, like I said, I brought up Ezekiel Elliott. He was one of those dudes that had a burner phone and stuff. And part of the investigation, his ex-girlfriend, part of the shit they used was she had messaged her friend saying, "I'm gonna accuse this dude and take everything he's got." Like, she sent that to him, and that, even if that's the only example, that's one. And look what it could have done. And then again, people who, Me Too overwhelmingly is a good thing. Overwhelmingly is a good thing. But the other side of that is historically, particularly against people of color, that was a thing that was a concern. That was a thing that happened. My parents were very old, and that was one thing they were very hesitant about me going to college, because historically, many people who had darker fucking skin than the elites in Hollywood had some really bad shit happening to them because certain people didn't want to be caught with the coloreds. So, and that's no fucking joke. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, man. Yep, these things happen.
Yeah. It's funny how people are Horsecock Johnson. I'm going to read a super chat earlier. He goes, "Damn, I didn't mean to turn things into a serious conversation. My bad."
Good job, Horsecock.
We
just made it serious.
No, it just went that way, man. This is a fluid show. We go wherever we want to. So
Well, I'm kind of glad I think we're having a really good stream right now.
Oh, definitely,
man.
One thing too. Oh, go ahead, Dion.
No, I was just saying, we have that conversation. We're not, people who, can articulate what we mean well. I think so. Hope so. It just happens to go there, even though a dude named Horsecock was the one that brought it up.
Very fair point.
Thank you, Horsecock.
Thanks, Cock.
While we're on this topic, what do you guys think of the Kobe stuff? Have you seen that article about the writer who went after him as soon as he died?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's a weird situation.
Yeah.
And I know, he's done some things, and things have been said, and the court case was thrown out and things like that, but also the guy just died.
Right.
So, and a bunch of people also, it wasn't just him, it was a bunch of people also. So, give it a little bit and then kind of, I guess, go after him, but give it a little bit.
Right.
Yeah.
It's listen, I enjoy basketball. I'm not the biggest basketball fan. I love sports overall. It's huge, and you can't deny the dude was one of the best at basketball. And going forward, 100%, we should have that conversation. That's a thing, that whole situation, a lot of things came to light. A lot of those things showed that Kobe Bryant wasn't exactly the nicest guy in the world, and we should have that conversation later on. But the day that he dies with his kid, there are such things as poor taste, and that's an example of it.
Yeah, don't start bashing the guy immedially. Give it a month.
Right.
Yeah, he was still warm when they're doing.
Oh, God damn it!
Damn.
That's also a very fair point.
Whew.
Spicy as shit.
Yeah.
Dion, I know you said you weren't really much of a basketball fan. For me, Kobe Bryant was always just the guy who had his own video game who was really popular when we were kids.
Yep.
Do you have any of you guys? Do you have a list of greats? Or would you put Kobe Bryant on the list in terms of just performance on the court? I'm not worried about personal life or what he's done outside of basketball.
Absolutely, he's top 10 easily.
Oh, easily top 10. Easily
top 10.
Oh,
arguably top 5. Very arguably top 5. A lot of people have him as the best of all time. I don't think so. He was notoriously a ball hog, but but he's definitely one of the best of all time. I'm not one of the people that think that he's on the Mount Rushmore of basketball, but he is, like I said, definitely an all-time great, and I'm very sad that we're not going to hear his Hall of Fame speech.
Do we all agree Michael Jordan's number one?
Yes.
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 All right, cool. I do like Michael Jordan.
Yes.
He gave us Space Jam.
He did give us Space Jam. And he gave us hilarious pictures of him in a baseball outfit, which is fucking
and he gave us an endless amount of Hanes commercials for some reation. So
that's true. That is
Didn't
very
he make a ton of money on those Hanes commercials?
Oh yeah, dude. Oh
he just re-signed for Nike to use Jordan, and it was like a $20 billion deal. So he is that motherfucker, and that's before you get into his business investments that went well, and he is. There was a picture of him, his crazily expensive divorce, and then there's a picture of him with his new wife, and it's just him in t-shirt, shorts, and sandals, carrying a bottle of tequila and a cigar, looking like a fucking bum. They look at the fucking bottle of tequila, and it's like a fucking it's like a $500 bottle of tequila. You know what I'm saying? So it's like even when he's bumming, the motherfucker's styling and profiling. It's crazy.
Yeah, no shit, dude.
Do you think he would give us a small loan of $1 million?
100%. It's a drop in the bucket. He'd write a check this afternoon. I should get him on the phone.
We should find a way to contact him and ask him if we can, a small business loan. Would he invest in our channel?
Yeah,
$1 million would be like, he'd be like, do you want a cash or you want a check?
Yeah, we'll shill his shoes. Be like, hey, we wear Air Jordans. You should wear them too.
Mm-hmm. I ain't got nothing but Hanes.
Tagless tees, bro.
Tagless tees, motherfucker. I ain't itched for years.
With Gatorade, you can quench your thirst in many different flavors. My favorite is the purple one.
Kendo. Kendo, you got a super chat directed at you in a minute. You're not going to like it.
Okay.
Mark C. first off says, shop smart, shop S-smart, you piece of shit.
I mean, I feel like that would actually fit in the movie really well.
That would be perfect.
Oh, yeah.
100%.
I fucking love Army of Darkness. I missed that movie. I haven't watched it in a while. Seriously, Black 7 says, they fly now? They fly now! You piece of shit.
Yeah.
The Rise of Skywalker would have made $28 billion if that line of dialogue was in the film.
Shit. That makes sense, but Lucasfilm doesn't do that these days.
Yeah, no, but instead they had, I'm the spy.
I'm the spy.
Yeah. It's like this. Ah, jeez. It's fucking stage actors.
Now
that needs to be a fucking t-shirt with Nick's face with a cigar in his mouth. Fucking stage actors.
Write it down. We'll make it happen when our store launches.
Oh man.
Kendo, this one's directed at you. It's from Bjorn to Kill. I love the name. Kendo seems like the type of guy that moans when he wipes his ass.
What?
I don't get what that's supposed to mean.
I don't either. I just like it.
What? Now, god damn it. Now, because I know what he looks like. I've hung out with him. And now I'm just imagining him just like, all right, yeah, that's real good. Can't grab me a beer. Shirt's got to run in the bathroom. Close the door. Flush. Shh. Who wants a beer? Never mind, man. Never mind. I'll get it myself. That was so bad. I don't know why. I'm sorry.
I don't, but I also still don't get what that's supposed to mean. I'm trying to get what he's trying to imply there.
Just a random insult, man. Just a random insult that just somehow landed. I don't know what. He's the type of dude that moans when he wipes his ass. Like, what?
If you guys don't stop me, that's going to be Kendo's intro from each week. The man who moans when he wipes his own ass. Kendo Slice.
Nah, I'm good with the one I got.
American Ramrod it is.
Yeah.
Car Ramrod.
That's right.
Speaking of which, Tacoma FD, the show that's done by Broken Lizard, got season 2, and it's coming out soon.
Oh, nice.
Yay.
Yeah, I rewatched that show the last couple of days. Oh, fuck, it's funny. Damn, man. It's so good.
Well, Nick, speaking of things coming out, did you hear about this Thing remake?
Yeah.
What are your thoughts? And then we'll talk about it.
They did the 2011 prequel remake bullshit, and that was horrible. There was a whole discussion of real effects and CG, and the guys who did the real effects lost out, even though they made their own movie called Harbinger Down. I'm not a fan of it because we love The Thing, and The Thing is a great movie. I showed my niece and nephew The Thing over Christmas. They cried, but they loved it. It's a wonderful movie, and it's just fucking perfect to me. And they shouldn't fuck it up. I don't know why they're gonna remake it. Are you trying to get? It's already gold. What more do you want out of it?
Well, like you said, it's perfect. I think The Thing is the perfect movie. It's scary. It's suspenseful. The effects are perfect. They hold up almost 40 years later. The Thing still looks great because it was all done on set. It's gory. It's unique. It's amazing artists at the peak of their powers. The shit that comes together when you get nothing but top tier talent. We're talking John Carpenter, Kurt Russell, Keith David, Rob Bottin or Rob Bottin, however you pronounce his name, and all the other special effects guys involved, and our friend Mr. Diabetes himself, Wilford Brimley. Yeah. I mean, The Thing,
who will be at Horror Hound.
Yes, he will, and we should all go get Liberty Testing Supplies autographed by Wilford Brimley.
Yeah. Don't say that shit because I'll buy it and we'll have to go ahead and sign by him.
I'll pay money to get his autograph just for these are my testing supplies.
Oh my god, dude. he would find it hilarious or be so fucking insulted by it.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's gonna go one of two ways. He's gonna laugh at it and think it's funny, or he's gonna be like death stare, and the security guards are gonna have to ask us to leave.
Oh, you want someone at Whorehound to autograph you and interact with you? Well, in the words of the immortal Mad Max, aka Mel Gibson, talk to me.
You piece of shit.
Give me a turkey
to sign a box.
Give me a turkey suit. I'll go get Wilford Brimley to sign that shit.
Let's say we can get him to sign a box of Quaker Oats. I think he used to sell those.
So I ruined Jessie because now she thinks of the disease as diabetes.
Well, if you don't, you've got a problem.
Diabetes. Rock me, diabetes. Liberty Supplies. Diabetes.
That's a real video, folks.
Oh, God.
Yes, it is.
I think in the article about the thing, it was like what Blumhouse wants to buy it or something and remake it or some shit.
That's what this is right here. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's. I mean, I'm okay with Blumhouse owning a few things here and there, but like, just because you own it doesn't mean you have to remake it. Like, calm down, man. Like, I don't.
Well, here's the thing. I'm with you. I'm against remakes of things like The Thing. I always say that The Thing is not necessarily a remake of Who Goes There from A Thing from Another World. It's another readaptation. And so there's actually an interesting story behind this. Now, like I said, folks, I'm just telling the entire story, but I have no interest in this movie existing. But it says, in a now deleted Facebook post, executive producer Alan Dawes announced that he's tackling a remake of The Thing, which will pull from a novel called Frozen Hell. In 2018, it was discovered that Who Goes There was actually a shortened version of a longer story that John Campbell Jr. had written, and that Frozen from Hell manuscript laid untouched for decades. So a Kickstarter was subsequently launched by John Betancourt to publish the full Frozen Hell novel, and upon successfully raising enough money, digital distribution began. Earlier this month, the physical copies will arrive, and in June. But now a new version of The Thing is on its way. As Alan Dawes puts it, it includes the very best of RKO's The Thing from Another World, John Carpenter's classic The Thing, and both books, Frozen Hell and Who Goes There. Furthermore, Universal Pictures and Blumhouse Productions are tackling The Thing remake, and it's being fast-tracked. So while the release date hasn't been set just yet, it sounds like you can expect it sooner rather than later. So with that information about, it's an adaptation of the book, they didn't even know it was longer, they just discovered it a couple years ago. Does that soften your stance at all, or are you just like, screw this?
No, dude, it doesn't, because you're going to attach the Thing name to it. If you're going to do like the same kind of movie, just do a similar movie, but just don't make it like in cold. Make it in the heat. Make it like they're in the Sahara Desert or some shit, and an alien's there or something. I don't know. Make it different. And also I know they're gonna do this, but they're gonna make it as like fucking quote unquote diverse as they can. I know that's what they're gonna do, and it's gonna be weird.
Well, it's kind of a weird thing for them to do, because The Thing was already like diverse as it is. Just because you don't have an Indian and a Croatian and a guy from Nova Scotia doesn't make the movie not diverse. The movie's great.
Of all the stuff you can come up with, you came up with Nova Scotia?
Dude, I was in Washington recently, okay? I was close to Canada. All right, I drank maple syrup and wore a flannel t-shirt.
What? Were you a lumberjack too? Did you chop some wood?
I slept all day and I worked all night. Yeah, gave some, definitely. God damn. Now, to be serious for just a moment, like Lance Storm, I honestly am intrigued by. Thank you, Dion. That was for you and you only. I'm intrigued by this information because I might just go buy a copy of this fucking book and read it and have no interest in the film. I do like that there's it'd be like if there was a longer version of a James Bond novel that was never adapted by Saltzman and Broccoli, and they're like, yeah, it's Goldfinger technically, but there's another 100 pages that was never found or released or whatever, and I'm kind of like, I kind of want to see that movie. So and
then they peg Daniel Craig for one more movie to redo Goldfinger. It's like, no, don't do that. That's weird.
Nah, dude, they bring back Pierce Brosnan.
Oh, don't say that'd be awesome.
Last week, I met a guy that went to Pierce Brosnan's house to use the bathroom. That's not a joke.
Really?
That's a true story.
What did he say?
So this guy is a stand-up comedian, and he was just telling us. Dylan Sullivan. Yeah, his name's Dylan Sullivan. He was at Jesse's stand-up open mic, and he was just telling a story. Like what show was he on? He was on Conan O'Brien, and somehow he got to Pierce Brosnan's house. And I was just like, God damn it. I need to do something to hang out at Pierce Brosnan's house. But the fact that he's not too far from here bothers me.
Damn, man.
Jeez.
Well, and just to kind of, since I'm in the easily triggered state of the evening, A-Train, the analog kid, throws out an accusation. You have no idea what they're going to do. Relax and wait for it to come out. Now you're mad at Blumhouse. Listen here, son. This is one of those instances where it's I'm gonna learn you something. There's nothing wrong with studios, especially studios like Blumhouse, trying new things, taking new things, going in new directions. And my colleagues here, albeit they are more in depth in horror than I fucking love The Thing. It is the greatest horror movie of all fucking time. And I will repeat what they said. It is a perfect fucking movie. So am I mad before seeing the movie? You're goddamn right. Why? Because if you take all the chances and all the times that studios have remade, repackaged, taken unseen storyboards, stories, scripts, and even taking that to make a remake of a movie, it doesn't fucking work more often than it has worked. Nick brought up the fucking prequel starring Jessica Biel. Yeah, because Jessica fucking Biel has carried so many great movies. What else have we talked about the fucking remakes? Would you be okay with a remake of Beverly Hills Cop? No, you fucking wouldn't. Okay, we just had a remake of Halloween, the second remake of Halloween that's fucking happened, and it fucking sucked too. Were you gonna hear about the fucking remake of Halloween, the one that came out just 2 years ago, and say, "Oh, let me give it a fucking chance"? Or are you gonna say, "Hey, Rob Zombie already fucked me. Why am I gonna let this random other dude fuck me?" And don't get me wrong, I enjoy Blumhouse. I think they do a lot of good things right. But like Nick said, a guy, by the way, who works in this fucking industry and makes goddamn slasher movies, do something different. If you make this movie and you attach the name The Thing to it, you are attaching the name of a perfect fucking movie. How in the fuck are you going to follow up on a perfect movie? The only place you can go is down. And it only depends on how far you're willing to go down. And some dudes don't like going down. So the movie will probably suck due to expectation alone. So yes, I am mad that the goddamn thing is going to do bad because they're not going to make something new. They're going to try to remake The Thing, remake characters, copy all the other characters, Wilford Brimley and I almost said Kirk Douglas, Kurt Russell. They're probably going to randomly try to copy the black dude that's in that goddamn movie.
Well, here's the thing. If you fast track this movie, Kirk Douglas is still alive. You could put him in the movie. He's 101 years old. Why not?
Why the hell not? He is Spartacus, goddammit.
Also, Dion, that was perfect. That was beautiful and perfect. Thank you. And I mean, look at, okay, for instance, remakes. Look at Charlie. Well, Charlie was a good sequel, but still really bad. Terminator. You had Blumhouse also did Black Christmas remake, the second remake, which bombed horribly. It was made for $5 million. They didn't even make that the opening weekend.
Clerks 2 made its money back right away for $5 million.
Yeah,
And Ian, you're saying I'm missing. I don't miss the point that the thing is again. I'd argue that it isn't a remake, but again, I want you to tally all the remakes that you can think of off the top of your fucking head and tell me how many of them were good, let alone successful. Okay, you can think of the thing. Name me fucking 3 more, bub. 3 more.
Well, one thing I always look at with the film The Thing, it's an adaptation of a book. I don't necessarily always think of, because I've said this before, this conversation's ever happened. I usually look at, like, if you're adapting a book multiple times, is it a remake of another movie or is it an adaptation of the book a different way? I mean, how many Bible stories, the Bible's a book. They've adapted Bible stories. Yeah, exactly. Is that a remake of another movie, or is it just, retelling of a story? Or, if let's say they were to make another movie called Goldfinger. Okay, here's an example too. James Bond, Thunderball, and the unofficial film Never Say Never Again. Is that a remake of Thunderball, or is it an adaptation of a book? Legally, it's an adaptation of the book that Kevin McClory had input in, but it's the same fucking movie down to similar, almost the same names and everything. So it's weird where you get to that gray area of remake or readaptation. So I usually just say it's The Thing's just an adaptation of that book. Thing from Another World, or Who Goes There, or whatever it is. So,
yeah, and I know that there was another film. I don't know if it was called The Thing from Another World. I can't. Oh, okay. You ran out at 2, Ian. Okay, man. Well played, sir. Well played. But and The Fly is probably the only other great one that you can think that most people can.
Oh no, the Blob as well. The Blob.
The Blob is way better.
The remake
100% better.
For sure. But yeah, I know that there was an old movie kind of like The Thing, but even so, that's a hard thing, pun intended, to fucking do. And The Thing from Another World is a great book, but is the one that came out in like 51 or whatever.
The Thing from Another World's the original movie. The book is called Who Goes There. And if you watch the original Halloween, that's what they're watching. Tommy Doyle and Lindsay or whatever, they're watching The Thing from Another World. It's kind of funny that John Carpenter just 4 years later would be but adapting that book and that.
Yeah, and also the movie The Thing was a flop. It's become a cult classic in the last 20 years or so. But when it came out, it was a flop. It was a giant flop. Also, Rob Zombie's Halloween movies were dog shit. I don't care who likes them or who doesn't. I personally think they were dog shit. So, and all his movies are exactly the same.
Well, Midnight's Edge After Dark makes a great point. As long as something from an earlier film that is not exclusive to the film, it's a readaptation, in my opinion. But if you borrow stuff from a movie, then it's a remake. That's an interesting point.
It's and I'm looking at that. I like that.
Yeah, and I'm sure Blumhouse will. They'll hit the fan stuff that they want so they can make money and make their money back or whatever. They will hit those notes of certain things. Hell, they might even have fucking Kurt Russell come and make a cameo or something. Who knows? Just to fill that void. But even then, like. I'm interested to read the books as well and see what what the difference is. And like, if they want to, they can make the same like alien. Actually, they did it already. They did it with this alien that's been there for millions of years. They did it. It's called Sphere. It was an alien in the water.
Right.
Well,
because I always get Sphere and Abyss, because Abyss was the alien in the water, that it was good, and then Sphere was it gave them powers to like make shit real that they. If they had an imagination or whatever, they could like, think of whatever they wanted to, and it would come to life almost. I think. Right. So yeah, I always get those fucking mixed up. But my whole thing has always been a remake is a film that carries the same name that copies the major plot points of its predecessor. And it's a very general, broad statement. That's how I see it. If it carries the same name and it copies the fucking storyline for the most part, it's a remake. The Thing prequel. It treads a very thin line. Again, Jessica Biel's like Mila Jovovich. Anytime you put her in the movie, it's probably not going to go well. But that one, I don't say remake, even though it was still really bad. But Halloween is a perfect example. Rob Zombie's Halloween. It was fucking terrible.
I hate that movie.
It's just I like the beginning. 2 is really shitty. I regretted watching that one. But Rob, that's a perfect example of why you don't do fucking remakes. It's just it's a very slippery slope.
Yeah, and all of Rob Zombie's movies are exactly the same. It's white people in the 70s who are angry at each other and just screaming obscenities the whole time. And then there's murder and blood and death. Like,
some of them fuck at some point.
Some fuck at some point, yeah, but it's all the same shit starring his untalented wife. So
that's the funny thing too. Like I know,
fantastic.
Yeah,
I get loving your wife, but you ain't got to put her in. Len Wiseman does the same thing with Kate Beckinsale. She can act, but bro, let her be in somebody else's movie.
Yeah.
Look at Leslie Mann; she's in every one of Judd Apatow's.
Oh, Leslie Mann, that's another one too. Stop. I get it. You want to help your wife out, but don't make it so obvious. Shit.
Yeah, Tim Burton did it with his girlfriend until they broke up. So
that's why she hasn't been.
No, he still does.
Okay.
That was funny.
Yeah,
because all you gotta do is to keep Helena Bonham Carter is put her in some weird ass movie with Johnny Depp, but even she's like, stop fucking everybody else on set.
Kendo,
yeah,
you were just a listener of this channel before you became an official member. Did you ever listen to our Thing commentary?
Not that I can recall. Probably, but I can't say that I did for sure.
So let me just put the link in the chat, folks. While we're away, for those wondering about the hiatus, like I said, my grandma passed away. The channel's going dark for a little bit. We will be back. We're not going away. We're not canceling the channel or ending it, and everything we have planned is still happening. But at the earliest you'll hear from us will be next week, once I get back with everything. And for sure, Oscar party is happening. I just see people asking. But in the meantime, you can check out our, our thing commentary. It's a lot of fun.
Oh, it's only got 996 views. Deserves more. I had a great time doing that one.
That's when the channel didn't, we get that in like 5 minutes now. So, yeah.
Only 2 downvotes, though. I'll take that.
I wish we only got 2 downvotes. No, but this talk of the thing really went a lot longer. Tonight's show has been much more interesting than I thought
it seems that people are really showing me hate for not liking Rob Zombie. I'm sorry. I just don't like the guy and don't like his movies. The only thing he did that was even remotely entertaining was his trailer for Werewolf Woman of the SS for the Grindhouse movie, and then his cartoon El Superbeasto. Other than that, his movies have been kind of unwatchable for me. So
Nick, I've
beep boop beep.
Nick, I've never watched. Yeah, I'm here. I've never seen Rob Zombie's Halloweens, so maybe we should do them for commentary for the Patreon.
I'm down, man. I'm down. I'll get white girl wasted and get real angry.
Perfect.
Yeah, it'll be wonderful. Oh man, people might love that shit.
I went on a date.
I've never watched them,
and it was one of the worst dates ever.
Oh god, dude. Yeah, I mean, I just can't, because every time he's like, "Oh, a new movie came out," I'm making a new movie. I'm just like, "Oh, good for you." Somebody decided to give you $7 million to make a movie again. Good for you. Go back and to make Walmart metal, okay?
I really won't shit on his music because he had some good songs.
Yeah, he's got a couple iconic ones, but I'm not giving him that much credit.
One was in The Matrix and one was Edge's theme song. Are there any other you can think of?
The song from Beavis and Butthead Do America.
Oh, yeah, that was Rob Zombie. Okay,
and I like a song called Thunder Kiss 65.
So Thunder Kiss, okay.
Thank you, Dr. Coffin Nails. You are the man.
Well, technically that's White Zombie, but still it's Rob Zombie singing. So
White Zombie.
I'm almost positive his first movie wasn't something he made. His first movie he was ever in was Airheads.
I think so.
Huh.
Yeah, it's definitely him in Airheads, because when Chris Farley goes to the Hollywood, because it was Sunset Boulevard, he's one of all those nightclubs, and it's Rob Zombie playing on stage.
Oh yeah, I remember that. He pulls the guy's nipple ring out.
Yep, that is my definition of an underrated film.
Dude, 100%. Airheads gets shit on unjustly, and some people don't even know about it. I'm like, how do you not know about this movie? It's wonderful.
Speaking of stuff, I sat down and rewatched Beverly Hillbillies. That was a movie I liked as a kid, but I'm embarrassed as an adult. It's fucking terrible.
It is not good.
No. Yeah, it didn't age well. The only reason I like it is because of Ernest. That's it. But even that is.
That's the only reason why I would even consider watching the movie as an adult, is for Jim Varney, because you know how much I love him, and Nick as well. But when I saw it as a kid, I was just like, this isn't that great. But Ernest is in it, and then I saw it maybe 10 years ago. I was like, wow, this is terrible.
It makes me wonder if it was ever good or if I was just really dumb as a kid. Don't answer
that. I wonder if it lost money.
It did not. It actually had a modest box office success.
Huh.
Yeah, it's. I saw it in HD over. They had like a Showtime thing, and it was like the highest quality you could see the movie. And I'm like, yep, it's still stupid. Diedrich Bader plays his Jethro and Jethreen. It wasn't even a funny joke.
Oh, jeez.
No. Anyway, let's see. The listeners, Darth Fatass, fighter of was it Gary? Not Gary. Barry the Fat Jedi. Darth Fatass says, "That's not how the Force works, you piece of shit."
Perfect.
McKinney 90 says, Rose Tico, I was trying to save you. Kisses Finn, you piece of shit. That should be a video I make where it's honestly like famous movie lines and then it's responses, you piece of shit.
Yep.
That's a billion viewed video right there.
Oh, definitely.
I don't know if I ever said this on the channel publicly, but what did you guys think of our old Captain Marvel video finally passing 1 million views after it just kept chugging along?
I was real happy about that, man. That was awesome.
I'm sure it's the vocal minority getting a hold, but it's like, hey, it's still a damn good video.
That video gets more views than shit okay, so videos I put out last week, they do well, then they stop. This old Captain Marvel video does better than those. It just keeps on going. I don't know what the fuck that video is or has. It will not stop.
It just keeps chugging along. I do. Oh god, especially with part 2 like getting announced. I'm just like, part 2 is gonna bomb horribly, I think.
Part 2 will not have the luxury, or Disney won't allow Brie Larson to say stupid shit. Like, this is going to be a much tighter-lipped production. Depending on how Black Widow does. If Black Widow underperforms or even doesn't cross the, standard $500 million thing, Disney's going to step back and go, maybe we're not untouchable. And Kevin Feige will pull it back and he'll go, okay, we're going to move forward with this movie. There is an audience that made $1 billion, but we're not going to allow that narrative to permeate. That's not going to be the forefront of this movie.
Yeah, because I still love her little interview with Don Cheadle where he's like, "Don't touch me." Like every time, I just think of that. Every time I think of her, it's just like, you fucked up. And then after that, everyone he responded on Twitter. He's like, "Yeah, we're okay." I'm like, "No, you're not. You're just saying that so there's no weird. So people aren't digging into the weird controversy of you and Brie."
Well, someone came up with another petition for her not to be Captain Marvel.
Wait, really? Tell me about it.
Yeah, so it was, I think Monday was when I saw the article, and I was actually surprised because The Guardian covered it and brought up some actually good opinions on it from actual fans. But someone else started another petition for her to step down as the role of Captain Marvel for Captain Marvel 2. And at the time of the publication, I gotta find it now, but I think it had like 30,000 signatures in a day. So I'm trying to find it now. Brie Larson.
Well, once again, my vote for Captain Marvel was always Katie Sackhoff.
That would have been a lot better. But in the article they brought, people were saying, actually articulate people that they had in the article about how, hey, a lot of people were saying, hey, I agree with what she's saying, but she's such a jerk that I don't want to watch her movie. It was very clear that was what the petition was kind of going at. And this is a year after her movie came out. So
oh god, I hope that when part 2 comes out, there's going to be the supercuts of all the shit she said and just circling the internet for months before it comes out. So people are like, oh yeah, she's weird and she's an asshole. Let's not watch the movie.
Will they put it out on International Women's Day again? That's the question.
God, they will. They're waiting.
I don't think they will. I think one, how it kind of became a bit of a meme, and then two, a lot of people who talked about the movie talked about how it was very clearly a goddamn ploy to get more money. So I think they'll probably just, if anything, if they keep it out with this roster of Marvel properties, they'll probably just put it into May, like usual. I don't think they're gonna play that Women's International Day shit again.
Well, here's hoping.
Yeah, we'll see.
Well, they won't.
Yeah, it's too weird.
Well, and again, it's a lot easier to pull something off like that when the person that's the face of your movement, isn't an asshole. Body parts notwithstanding, assholes are very hard to like. And
well, she's the face of some movement.
She thinks so. That's the part. She thinks so. And when you're an asshole, no one wants to, for lack of a better phrase, hang out with you. And in this case, hanging out with you means wanting to see your fucking movies. You had the luxury of preempting Endgame. You're not going to have that you're not going to have that for Captain Marvel 2. There's not going to be the biggest movie in history backing you up or driving interest in your movie. So, you guys brought up a good point of Disney keeping her on a tighter list. I think it's more than that. I think it's them saying, hey, listen, you didn't prove shit. Endgame was right after you. You single-handedly turned the fans and the media against us. We're serious, and and I think even for her personally, outside of covering for Jimmy Kimmel, the fact that they released a new staple of Marvel movies in this phase, and Captain Marvel 2 wasn't part of it. Maybe she even got a little knock on the chin with that. I hope so, because again, this is a business, baby. You can say what you want, but you ain't the one signing your own checks.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what happens with part 2 and everything that they do and what she says and how she acts and what the fans are going to say to it. She might apologize and start being nice and whatever again, but even then, I don't think people are going to dig it and
it'll be
give
seen as really, really disingenuous if she does.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Well, the one thing too that people say, well, just because Avengers Endgame ended, the next movie still made $1 billion. It was Spider-Man. Okay.
Right.
Even the shitty ones make $700 million. Domestically, the number one Spider-Man movie is still Spider-Man 3, I believe. So, I mean, we're talking about the third most famous comic book character ever. Some would argue the second. I'd say Batman and Superman, because of the decades of Superman's popularity, even though some people don't like Superman today, you can't take away the fact that that book was selling millions of copies per month. Action Comics or Superman, I don't know exactly which one, but there were two huge Superman titles. He was on the radio, he was on TV, he had cartoons, action figures and shit decades before Spider-Man even existed. So just saying, there was all that time that Superman had. Batman debuted, 2 to 3 years? I think it was 2 years later, because Superman's 38 and Batman 37, 39. I don't exactly remember how it goes, but I know Batman's right after Superman. And I mean, again, we're talking decades of time. I mean, there was a Batman movie. There were how many Batman movies before there was a Spider-Man movie? There were 5 Batman movies, the 4 Tim Burton era ones and the fucking Adam West one. So to use that argument though, but Spider-Man's right there. People say, what about Wonder Woman? What about the Trinity? Look, we like Wonder Woman. We respect her as a character. Love Linda Carter and Gal Gadot. Spider-Man beats Wonder Woman in terms of popularity every fucking day. There's not even an argument to be had. There's nothing.
Right.
I mean, Spider-Man was making $900 million in merchandise sales when there was not a movie coming out back in the early 2000s. So, I mean, that's why Marvel was able to do that. Whatever is going to, Black Widow is going to make money, but not Spider-Man money.
No, I mean, I am going to go watch it because I want to support.
So am I.
Because I think that movie should have replaced Captain Marvel, and it should have been earlier. She should have got her movie way the fuck early on. The fact that they were just like, oh yeah, we're going to shoe in another character here in the 11th hour was fucking retarded.
It was dumb, man.
Yeah, it was so dumb, and the bullshit that it made $1 billion is not true, and I don't believe anything about that.
Well, and the thing that pisses me off is the narrative that it was long overdue for Black Widow. Motherfuckers, they went with Captain Marvel first, and everyone's jumping on. Well, Captain Marvel was more powerful. Blah 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 blah. You weren't saying that about Black Widow. What would have made more goddamn sense? A Black Widow movie after Infinity War or Captain Marvel movie? They went with Captain Marvel specifically because plot. I love that joke. That's the reason why they came out with the goddamn Captain Marvel movie. Because fucking plot. It would have made a lot more sense to have Black Widow have a movie out, because obviously the shit that she dealt with before she finds Clint would have been a hell of a lot more interesting than 90s references and Brie Larson staring at shit. Okay, that being said, that's how you gonna blame that on people? Like, oh, it made $1 billion. Did it? Even you got to be like, hey, Endgame was fucking 3 months later, guys. Cool it.
Yeah, how many pictures did we get from people in theaters watching that who went to theaters watching that movie and there was nobody in there?
A lot.
We had so many on Twitter, so many on Facebook, and people just kept posting it from all over the world, all over the US about that. I was like, this seems fishy. This seems really fishy. And even Jeff did a bunch of videos about how it was fishy and, the numbers and everything that went with it. So, I mean, yeah, there's something to that. And I think if you look deep in the financials of Disney, like they've been, it's all there. But I doubt they're going to have the money and the power to do that again for this movie. I mean, that's way too much. And
yeah, there's no Endgame following it up. There's no Endgame.
Yeah, so it's going to be
huge.
It's going to be interesting to see how it goes. I think I think it's gonna bomb hard. Nobody's gonna want to go see it or anything. They're gonna be like, whatever, you know.
Well, this newer wave of Marvel characters that they're trying to push, the Kamala Khans, your Squirrel Girl, like Miles Morales Spider-Man, if you would have made that movie without regular Peter Parker Spider-Man, wouldn't have been the same. And I don't even think it was technically that big of a hit. Great movie, fucking loved it. But it wasn't that big of a hit comparatively speaking. I want more. I hope the next one focuses on Miguel O'Hara, Spider-Man 2099, instead of trying to tie it always back to Miles Morales. I'd be much more interested to see Miguel O'Hara team up with Peter Parker and kind of keep Peter Parker as that focal point because he's the real Spider-Man. None of this, lineage, legacy character bullshit. It's one dude. But that's a point. I digress. Let's skip back on topic. So our friend Joseph Bienowitz says, "Hey guys, joined late. Why going on the hiatus? You will be missed." Well, Joseph, thank you. Like I said, man, family stuff. Got to go back to take care of my the grandma situation. She passed away, so that is the reason for the hiatus. Like I said, the channel will be going dark. If you haven't had a chance, just check out our older stuff, and by the time we get back, it'll be like we never left. TLJ Screwjob says, "Boss, the chief ain't chewed it all off. You still got a little bit of ass left. You piece of shit."
Oh, that's a good one.
That scene would have went a lot differently with that line of dialogue.
It definitely
would have. Yeah, would have.
Definitely not now, Axel. Don't fuck with him.
I was just saying, Inspector Todd doesn't seem like the type of person that would just take something like that lying down.
Hell no. Especially when he starts the conversation with that fucking Foley in here.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, he was always so angry at Foley all the time.
Well, I mean, if you were running a police department and Foley was one of your detectives, wouldn't you be pissed off at him?
That's true.
Good
I would.
point.
But I mean,
He gets work done, but imagine the paperwork and the headache it causes you.
That's true. Yeah. That's true.
Dr. Ian Malcolm says, "Life finds a way. You piece of shit." I love that dude commits to the Jeff Goldblum icon and everything.
Hell yeah.
Well, I mean, it's getting into your character. He's got a kayfabe vibe to him.
Yeah, much respect.
Yes.
We read Horsecock Johnson's about, "Damn, didn't mean to turn things into a serious conversation." Never apologize, man. The show is called World Class Bullshitters, but we can definitely get into the minutia of this stuff. It's an ironic name, but I think this is one of those episodes that people will look back on and, man, they hit some good points. And I think we definitely need to go hit a lot of these like deep points again because I missed that part of the show.
Oh yeah.
We get deep, real deep, baby.
Yeah, deep undercover. TLJ Screwjob sent in 2. Thank you very much, my friend. I remember when Henry said that a brave whammon said, "Don't want to be accused of being a rapist. Don't be a rapist," as if they would stop falsifying.
I mean,
that's not an intelligent way to have that conversation. When people say that, it just drives me insane. Like, oh, well, if you don't do it, then they're not going to accuse you. Like, again, like I said, I grew up with that being a legitimate fear because that was a thing that happened historically. So anyone that tells you that if you don't want to get accused, then don't do it. Well, then you apparently know the only women that you ever met are nuns, because there are women and men and everything in between that accuse people of a lot of fucking shit, and that's no joke, man. That's serious repercussion stuff that we're talking about here.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, man. I mean, I've worked on some movies and some projects where we've had women on set and we have to be very, sure, it's like, hey, do you want to do this scene? Do you know what this? You have to be very descriptive about like what happens. Like, here's what's happening, where you're going to be naked or topless when you're doing this thing. It's like, do you understand who's going to be there? There's going to be this, the sound guy, the camera guy, the director's going to be there, and we're all going to be around the scene. If you need to bring like a friend with you, whatever, go ahead, that's fine. And we're always really careful with those things because we're a bunch of dudes. We don't want to get wrongfully accused for this thing we've written, this thing we're going to shoot, and it ends up getting taken the wrong way. Like, with everything I've done, I've always been super careful about that. It's and upfront about what's happening and what's going on. This way, there's no confusion. So
that was a big thing that happened with Uber. I mean, Uber said, "Hey, well, you can't have cameras in your cars," and so many drivers were like, this is one reason why we do that. And there was one that happened. It was in New York. A lady got in the dude's car. She didn't want to pay. And luckily he had his dash cam, the one that looks back into the car. And she goes, well, I'm just gonna, I'm gonna call the cops. Get out of my car, or they're gonna arrest you. She goes, well, I'm just gonna tell them that you tried to rape me. And if he didn't have the camera, how does that go? You can't tell me that, oh, well, he was no, he's an Uber. He drove her the car. She made the claim. He had the camera. That's one example, but that's a serious fucking example.
Oh yeah, dude. And didn't Rolling Stones wrongfully accuse the
college? Yes.
That college, yeah. So I mean, these things happen.
Well, look at TLJ Screwjob says, I remember reading a story of one guy who helped a woman change her tire, luckily on camera at a gas station. She falsely accused him, and he was fired and divorced. He had no choice but to sue her.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. They're shitty people all around, regardless of who you are. They're shitty people everywhere. So
right.
Dean Hopesoffel, thank you very much. He says, welcome to the frickin' Guardians of the frickin' Galaxy. Only he didn't say frickin', you piece of shit. The Briscoe 1234 says, there's no place like home, you piece of shit.
That's a good one. That changes that whole tone of that movie too.
Well, Dion, this might actually be your favorite one from Modalicious. This is Sparta, you piece of shit.
Did Leonidas have a cigarette hanging out of his mouth?
Yes.
No. Leonidas was actually Sam Jackson.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go. Well, that'd be motherfucker. Yeah.
You piece of shit, motherfucker. Okay, fine, whatever.
Midnight's Edge After Dark, thank you very much. He sends the peace emoji and live long and prosper. Tom, man, thank you very much. Thanks for the post on Twitter. I really appreciated it. There's a lot of good people out there in the Fandom Menace, and so everyone's response has been very comforting, so thank you. Tim Riggs says, they could be adapting it from the most perfect novel of all time. It will suck. Hollywood couldn't adapt an external hard drive, a fucking USB port with a $200 gift card to Newegg these days.
I got all that. True. That's funny. Well, I mean, everybody remembers Total Recall from the 80s, and then they remade it about, I want to say 10 years ago with
Colin Farrell.
And their thing was like, oh, we're gonna go exactly
Kate Beckinsale. It comes full circle.
That's true. But one thing they kept saying is like, oh, we're going to follow the story exactly. We're going to do the story exactly. And they followed the story, the short story, the book, or whatever it was exactly. And it was horrible. The crazy Get Your Ass to Maz was like from the 80s was wonderful. It's ridiculous. It's crazy, but it's a damn good time. So, I
don't even think they ended up following the book because the book has Mars in it. The remake was they're going through the center of the earth and shit, and the earth's uninhabitable, and it's in the last place where people live is Australia and fucking England because they're on opposite sides of the globe, but they're not. That was a terrible remake. Yeah. Fuck, that was bad. And again, Jessica Biel's in that one, son of a bitch. I'm telling you guys, do not put Jessica Biel in any remakes. That's two.
He's on to something.
Biel. I'm on to something. The conspiracy at WCBS is real.
Listen, Dion. I want you to go to your whiteboard and start putting this shit together, okay?
I'm gonna put some fucking strings, strings and stuff. Have my tie on. Like, listen, motherfuckers, Kate Beckinsale, Mila Jovovich, Kate Beckinsale, and fucking Jessica Biel. They're the end times. We need one more horseman.
Let's see. Our friend the Briscoe 1234 says, "Shaken, not stirred. You piece of shit." Our friend Commander Pluto just wants to say hello. Hello, Commander Pluto. Thank you very much.
Hello.
Dr. Coffinail says, Nick said nothing wrong. Rob Zombie sucks pipe.
Oh, thanks, buddy. You get me.
Our friend Crossbreed Azure says, I'm sorry to hear what you're going through, Jeff. I hope she gets better. The other night on their live stream, Clownfish TV said they would like to join you on a stream. Just send them an email. Well, Crossbreed Azure, she did pass away, but thank you very much. Clownfish TV, I will send them an email and get in touch with them for when I get back. Like I said, folks, there will be no high council on the channel this coming Tuesday. I'll still be in, traveling and taking care of the business and stuff like that with the family. But I'll talk to Mecca and she can do it and stuff like that. But yeah, I definitely want to have Clownfish TV on. I've been trying to branch out and talk to a ton of YouTube channels because the conversation is always fun when it's about entertainment. Logan Michael Anti-Funko Pop says, McFarlane revealed a Mortal Kombat style Spawn figure in Preview World magazine. It looks dope and the articulation looks decent. # Dion loves horses. Well, Logan Michael, I saw that. I'm fucking buying that. That is a cool ass action figure. Dion, you're going to get one too.
Deal.
I'm going to buy you one if you don't buy one.
Well, I appreciate it, but I'll just buy one.
All right. Joseph Bienowitz says, Captain Marvel, you piece of shit. Thank you very much, Bree. God. Matt G, thank you very much for your super chat, no message. Jimmy in Tennessee says, just got here, but I want to express my sympathies for your loss, Jeff. My father passed away last Monday, so it's been a rough week. Thank you guys for bringing some laughter into a difficult time. Well, Jimmy, I definitely feel your pain. My situation with my dad, he died when I was 6 weeks old, so it was a lot different, but my grandma's always been like my second parent, so it was rough towards the end, I'm not going to lie. So it's one of those, I'm glad she's out of her misery type of things, but I'm thinking about you too, man. So, if you need to talk to us, reach out. We'll be here, after we get through all this stuff. So thank you. And I wish you the best of luck, man. It's rough, but, everyone's got everybody. Darth Fatass says, I have spoken, you piece of shit.
Yes.
This is the way, you piece of shit.
I think we should just keep the change a filthy animal to keep the change a piece of shit. I think
there you go. No, I'm okay with that.
Let's see. Thunder Robots has an interesting point. I think they're going to do an X-Men event as the next MCU build-up because there was a post for the Phase 5 schedule and has an X-Men movie at the top. Thunder Robots, I haven't seen said post, but I do firmly believe that X-Men will be the focal point of Phase 5, not Fantastic Four that everyone likes to talk about. Look, I'm a big Marvel fan, comic books historically, and the movies, of course. Fantastic Four was the first family of Marvel. I have respect for everything Jack Kirby and Stan Lee did, but I don't think the Fantastic Four, it has name recognition. I believe that firmly. I don't think they have the same popularity for this generation because, I'm 31 now. Fantastic Four was always the second tier team in terms of actually maybe tertiary, if you think about it, because X-Men was the biggest thing of the 90s. Avengers had a cartoon, had some shit, maybe not so much. And the Fantastic Four, they had that terrible cartoon. The comics weren't anything to write home about in the early 90s. And they had a toy line. And then you had those bad okay-ish films in the early 2000s. So
you can say bad.
Yeah, the first one has some good moments though, man.
It does, but just fucking got another Jessica, but Jessica Alba crying, dude. Which wasn't her fault. They told her to cry pretty, but she just Jessica Alba's an astrophysicist. Come on now.
Yeah, I don't. it's acting beyond, but even that's a stretch.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we'll see X-Men. I hope they do X-Men right. If you're gonna, I'm gonna guess that they make Storm the leader of the X-Men. Well, I will never bitch once because Storm was the leader of the X-Men in the comics, and Storm's a great character. So if they can be true to what's when adapting this, you're not going to be seeing world-class bullshitters videos going, they're making a black woman the leader of the X-Men to be more diverse. It's like, read a fucking book. She took over for Cyclops.
Do you think they'll get Halle Berry back for that part?
Oh God, no! They're going to recast everybody.
Gotcha.
Hopefully not. Well, get her back. That's what I'm saying.
Modalicious with a very loud super chat. Gordon's alive? You piece of shit! TLJ Screwjob is a man after our own heart. He says, and Kurt Angle knows it spells disaster for him at sacrifice. You piece of shit.
Right.
That counts. That counts.
We'll allow it.
I will allow it. Thank you, Judge Mills Lane. Our friend Crossbreeder also says, I'm sorry about my super chat. I misheard you from the beginning of the stream. I got here late. I'm sorry for your loss. Hey, Crossbreeder, it's no big deal, man. Thank you very much for the sentiment. That's what I appreciate the most. So you're cool. But hopefully you guys go back and listen to the stream. As I said, the show is to help me cope a little bit, but it's been a fucking fantastic podcast. I want to thank the hundreds and hundreds of people that joined us tonight. Help me take my mind off of this stuff. And, like I said, we'll be back eventually. It's going to be a little bit, but, thank you.
Want to hear something funny?
Yes.
My Regal app just sent me a notification saying, assemble your flock. Get your Birds of Prey tickets on the Regal app and fly past the box office. No thanks.
Get out, Regal.
Most people are going to fly past the box office because that movie's going to fucking flop.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my
God.
It
looks so bad.
We'll cover it on After Hours.
Well, I got to, I'm probably going to end up taking the two women in my life to go see that movie. So I ain't going to lie, but It
Don't
do it. Bad,
That
man.
sounds like an
Hey, at least he's telling the truth this time. Okay, no, he's not lying about Terminator Dark Fate. So
that's true.
Of all the truths I tell, I get saddled with a rumor, and then no one takes my side. I can't believe that shit. Couldn't believe that shit. I was betrayed. Top 10 betrayals in anime.
He was bamboozled.
Honey dick, goddammit.
So, all right. So our last two super chats of the evening before we close out the show come from Makini90. Thank you very much. Put that cookie down, you piece of shit.
That was a wonderful bad Arnold Schwarzenegger. I love it.
Thank you.
Good.
I practiced for minutes.
Well, you know, it shows. That motherfucker Jeff Hicks is. You know, he could be another illegitimate child of Arnold's. You never knew.
Yeah, I'm not going to deny Arnold Schwarzenegger could be my dad. Just cut me a check, let me pay off my debts. Channel still lives on. You know what, Father Arnold? I'm in LA. Buy me a house. I need, a 2-car garage, a nice piece of land, central to where I am currently because I got a lot of stuff going on now. And yeah, it'll make up for everything. I'll forgive you.
I mean, it's not out of the realm of possibility. He does have an illegitimate child running around, so
and he liked to fuck things.
Can I sue the Andre the Giant estate and claim?
Well, there is a precedent there. I was gonna say there's a precedent with Arnold. I don't know about Andre.
That's true. Yeah, he had a daughter. Makini90 says, "And I am Iron Man. You piece of shit."
That's a good one. Yeah, I would have liked that in the movie. That'd have been great.
I did too. TLJ Screwjob. Great question to close out the show, man. Best wrestling match. Mine would be Kurt Angle versus AJ Styles at Hard Justice 2008 in a Last Man Standing match, which AJ won. Dion, favorite wrestling match?
Oh, my favorite wrestling match. I think I got to go with, since you brought up Kurt Angle and Shawn Michaels at 21. You had great technical wrestler, a great showman. That's probably my favorite overall match.
Kendo.
Give me Brett versus Owen at SummerSlam 93. Yeah, 93 or 94. Whichever one was like the cap of their trilogy of matches, because those two worked great together, and you know how I feel about Owen.
Personally, I know it's not the best match, but my favorite match is probably Rock Triple H Backlash 2000. I fucking love watching that match. I get pumped just thinking about it. Nick, I know you're not as big of a wrestling fan as all of us, but do you have a favorite one?
Yeah, it's Rock versus Stone Cold.
Oh, okay.
Because
I'm just gonna let him say all of them because it's the Rock versus Stone Cold.
Yeah, sure, all of them. Well, I mean, because I really love Stone Cold, and The Rock came along, and I was like, wow, he's sticking around. He's actually really good wrestler, and a really fun character. So it was like the meeting of that when I was just like, oh, these guys are actually gonna fucking throw down. Oh shit! And I thought it was a great match. I thought they were all great matches. So
an honorable mention to the WrestleMania 34 main event that Nick and I walked out of.
True, exactly.
I remember that. We were just like, are you ready? Yeah, we're ready.
Yeah, I was like, I ain't gonna fucking watch them crown his ass yet again. Quote the great Dennis Green.
Our friend Dion's Special Horse Little Biscuit says, Dion and I like to cuddle when we watch Terminator Dark Fate.
I literally moved away from the computer forgetting that I had headphones on. I was like, oh, why is he so close?
Commander Pluto.
He could have said it this way, Dion.
Oh, yes. Fuck you.
Commander Pluto says, run away and never return, you pieces of shit.
Scar was a piece of shit.
He was. He's also dead. Stone Cold Jeremy says, hey, Jeff, grandmas are special and awesome. Mine passed away this Thanksgiving. Thoughts and prayers are with you and your family. Stone Cold Jeremy, thank you very much. Again, that kind of stuff means a lot right now. I appreciate it, man. Battle Tested sent a buck, message retracted. Battle Tested, thank you very much, no matter what. And Mark C says, Undertaker versus Mankind, Hell in a Cell. That's a great match. I've been trying to get Jesse and I are watching Wrestling Slowly, and I keep telling her about that match, guys. So I'm going to show her the train wreck that is King of the Ring 1998.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's awesome.
Well, folks, I'm going to get out of here. I got some stuff I have to take care of, aka pack, do laundry, all kinds of stuff like that. If you're a patron, after hours is going to be Kendo, Nick, and Dion tonight. Like I said, I got to take care of some stuff. I have to be somewhere tomorrow before I can even head out to Cincinnati. So that's that. But I want to just thank everyone for joining us tonight. Really had an awesome show. Really helped me through kind of a down day. And like I said, we'll be back guaranteed for Oscar Party next week. It's going to be a drunk occasion. It's going to be a lot of fun. Earliest you'll hear back from me will be next Thursday's show. So in the meantime, just check out the old videos, get active in our Facebook group, and have some fun. That's what life's about. Life's too short to be bothered by bullshit. Nick, real quick, just not even the screen share thing, just tell people where they can find your movie real quick.
Yeah, the movie I'm working on is called Once Upon a Nightmare 2 Mother Noose. It's on the Buck Short Productions Facebook page, also their Instagram and Twitter. If you go to any of those, if you go to the Facebook page, they should have the teaser trailer up that I worked on. We also tweeted out the teaser trailer this last couple of weeks, so you can go back through our tweets, through our Facebook posts. You'll find it there. Give it a like, give it a share. Watch it as many times as you can. Let's get as many views on it as we can. So that'll help out.
Logan Michael Anti-Funko Pops, thank you very much. He says, "Hey, Dion, remember when you watched Terminator Dark Arm remembers?"
That old man's a liar.
And Claustoric, you beat me to the punch. When I was going to get ready to say my outro, folks, you know what to do. And Claustoric says it too. He says, be excellent to each other. And that's what you can do. While we're gone, do that one thing. Go out into the world, be excellent to each other. And we will catch you guys next time. So from all of us here, World Class Bullshitters, thank you very much. And Godspeed, Spider-Man.